he's not worthless, but he's not very good. It's like, just somebody coming back for name value.
Yeah.
So it depends on training. So it's very hard to seed people. But I think we're ready. We're ready for the first game.
I think we actually are ready. Let's do
yes,
this.
Get in. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second day of the Grand Championship Series quarterfinals. We've got an incredible series lined up right now. And on the south side of a map crossroads, it is going to be Luvnest playing as the Soviet faction.
And we've got an indomitable opponent in the north. We've got Aimstrong playing as his feared Wehrmacht. Aimstrong's Wehrmacht ain't any old Wehrmacht. In Co-1's history, back in 2010, it was Aimstrong's Wehrmacht people watched out for. And now, in 2017, he's playing them at the top of the totem pole. He's auto-match level #1 with a feared tier 1 heavy strategy where he literally goes for the jugular within the first 5 minutes of the game. Will Luvnest be able to defend himself against this onslaught?
You have to remember that we do know that last time we saw Aimstrong, it was completely annihilating Jezelin out of the tournament, which he used a similar strategy, heavy on the Grens, as you say, directly up the center of the map, something that we might be seeing here as the Pioneers try and take the central building. And it's going to be backed up, of course, by MG and the Grenadiers. Will he go for his side? Will he go for that decap? And it looks like he's tempting it a little bit.
He's tempting it. Luvnest is tempting fate as well. He's going for the sniper, which will be trying to get manpower attrition in the mid-game and obviously plink away at these 4-man Grenadier squads in the early game. But to be honest, with the amount of Grenadiers Aimstrong tends to build, I'm not too sure on that one. I'm very... Obviously, Luvnest is an elite player, so I'm very keen to see how he plays it with the sniper. But Aimstrong's build is all about getting at least 5 Grenadiers, 2 MGs. It's absolutely... horrific. There's going to be more targets than the sniper can cope with, in my mind.
Yeah, that was an amazing little dodge there. You see Aimstrong getting the MG in a preemptive position, popping in the Pioneers for extra sight out of that building. Luvnest has managed to carefully get away with little health damage on that. He's looking like he might give up the resource point, sorry, the strategic point on this side, which Aimstrong probably will intend to go over and lock down. But this is a slow start for Soviets. Sniper always is, but it's got a very, very good stacking power. And it looks like Luvnest, is he going to take the sniper round for a couple of shots?
Maybe about to do that indeed against the Pioneers. There you go, taking one shot. Then Aimstrong repositions to the exact edge of the capping circle. He's very fond of doing that, hitting the Halt key, getting out of there, uses classic, so that'd be H for him. He's got the MG42 coming into view. It's going to be denying any flanking potentials. He's watching over the house as well. So this is really Aimstrong just starting to tighten a noose.
Yeah, it's a good early start game, but we can't fault, Soviets slow to field in Tier 1. Luvnest hasn't lost anything yet. Bear in mind, he's doing the manpower damage to his opponent. No models have dropped for him. So he's able to just kind of pick off what he can. He's using the Pioneers
on the left, watch out.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one, though. He doesn't want to lose a model there. It's a high reinforcement cost.
Grenadiers on the left. They found the sniper. They take a few shots in. They were always flanking. The penal battalions with the SVTs come to counter them, though. They're going to have to retreat in no time at all because the penal battalions are really good, but Aimstrong does not seem to have seen the Grenadiers, and they've got a difficult retreat path. Has the sniper got it in scope? It misses its shot, and the Grenadiers look likely to escape with their lives. That was a dangerous precipice that they just stood upon.
Just thinking one of those shots could have downed that unit completely. They just managed to get away, but Aimstrong there, what looked like a very good flank, didn't quite pay off in that instance. Luvnest now needs to focus on getting his engineers up. He's making very good work of the sniper. Engineers are doing very good work to spot units a little bit further ahead than the sniper's vision, so he's able to get maximum potential out of this. And it's already looking like a much better defense than what Jezelin was able to put up last week against this strat.
Aimstrong just saved for a sniper, that is, against what I was expecting of him. I think it's almost as though Aimstrong would rather not get a sniper. But if you want to play at snipers, Aimstrong can play at snipers. Much as like we were talking about in the games of yesterday with, for example, any Co-1 players. These guys literally had to play with snipers to survive in Co-1 meta. I know that's a long time ago, and I know Co-2 quite hasn't been as sniper-orientated, but whenever you get a player using snipers, you always feel the need to get one yourself, and that's exactly what we've got here. So basically, sniper meta has been engaged.
That's a really, really nice push from Luvnest there. He's managing to take the penal battalions up. He had some of the engineers as well, just putting pressure on the MG. Looks like Aimstrong may make a big retreat out of there. Sniper's just about to open fire, so the game has been given away maybe a little bit for the first side of this, because he does want to get Veteran C1 ideally on that before he goes and tries to engage Soviet Sniper. Look at this, got another very cheeky cut off there.
Oh yes, there you go. Retreats. He's gone straight south, gone all the way around the same avenue of play. with one of his 3 grenadiers. That's right, Aimstrong with only 3 grenadiers, which is a bit something that people aren't so used to seeing very recently. Didn't manage to get the cut-off because the penal battalions have defended, and now the Soviet scout sniper team is going to push away the retreat because Aimstrong knows he does not want to lose the manpower potential. But we're going to have to keep a big eye out on here for the snipers. They're going to be waiting. They're going to be literally trying to find their first shot. And as Dan says, of course, the Wehrmacht sniper possibly does need tier veterancy 1 in order to fully get a counter-snipe off.
It's already a tense position for those snipers, and Luvnest, he's moving around quite a lot with those, clearly not particularly fearing it, but Aimstrong's keeping his cloaked, he's keeping it waiting for the right moment when he knows that sniper has left. Luvnest is taking a very, very good angle. He's not opening up too soon, trying to get the grenadiers out of that house in the center. Engineers don't quite detect the sniper there, and Aimstrong's...
Oh, he takes a shot. He kills one of the sniper models. That was a big shot from Aimstrong. He's shown that he's got a sniper now, and with his very first shot of his Wehrmacht sniper, he shows that he's out for the kill. Gaining a lot of experience with that shot and destroying a lot of manpower off the Soviet sniper team, who's had to retreat. Aimstrong showed his hand.
Yeah, a little bit of a tense one in there. Still looks like Luvnest is ahead at the moment. Aimstrong just rebuilding some pioneers that have gone down on the battlefield. I didn't quite catch that one due to watching the intense sniper focus that's going on in the center right now. We really got to watch the veterancy of this unit, because maybe just another couple of shots it will get veterancy 1. If Luvnest makes a little mistake like that again, he will lose a very, very important unit to him. But this is looking to be relatively even at the moment. Luvnest now pushing the left side, maybe trying to decap fuel from his opponent. But Aimstrong is quite heavy on the infantry at the moment, so he's going to be able to deal with it for now.
He's holding the line very well, is Aimstrong for now. However, Luvnest will start to build, especially now his tier 1 build is really starting to take effect with 3 penal battalions on the field. And then we will possibly be seeing something from one of his commanders very shortly, should he be going something like Lend-Lease.
It's nice as well, like for a game 1, they haven't really picked commanders at all. Oh, this is a late retreat here from the penal battalions. He's going to try and get that satchel off and try and get out, but I think he's actually going to wipe. No, he doesn't wipe that MG with the satchel. They're a little bit too spaced out to destroy the squad. So not particularly great value out of that.
It's well calculated by Aimstrong. I wouldn't put it past him to think to himself, right, there's a satchel in the middle of a 3-man squad that are quite well spaced. If I retreat them, they're going to group up and run away.
Yeah.
It is something that he would have thought about. He thinks about spacing a lot, for example, with his light gammon bombs as Brits and such.
It's nice when you see players that can actually look at those situations and make those calls. A lot of people would just hit retreat.
It's the standard of play we're starting to reach now, and when you see things like that, you have to appreciate that these guys have got thousands of hours in high-level competition, so they play on a slightly different level than most of the chat, and including ourselves, would be used to playing at.
Aimstrong has locked in Lightning Wall, which means G43 is going on in the Grens. They're going to have really good chasing power against the snipers now, which is going to make it very, very, even more difficult really for Luvnest to get good use out of this unit. If the Grens decide to use their tactical movement, then they're going to be able to chase him very, very quick, maybe even match the retreat speed in some instances. So Luvnest has to be very, very careful.
It's a double fuel for Aimstrong as well, so he'll be able to get that tier 3 out. He's so he's been rushing it, quite frankly, in recent auto match play, and everybody knows he rushes it. He doesn't fancy himself as a tier 2 player, so he'll be possibly trying to get a Panzer IV out as soon as possible.
It's funny because the games that we saw previously of Aimstrong, we didn't actually get to see his mid-game, really, did we?
No.
So it's a little bit of a, well, maybe not for you so much, but it's a little bit of a wild card for maybe a lot of the viewers here as to what the mid-game is going to look like. Luvnest has gone with the Lend-Lease commander, and the Dushka is now on the field. 300 manpower brought in, possibly to protect against those grenadiers rushing in so the sniper can continue its work on the field.
Just about denying. He's got a demo there we can have to watch out for. We do have a Minesweeper on the Pioneer for Aimstrong, so hopefully for him he can thwart against these. Is that in a second demo? He has now spotted they're being laid. If he's got his camera over there, there isn't any engagements elsewhere, so very good chance he will have spotted these 2 potentials. One's been cancelled, but he's probably just about seeing the other one now.
Yeah, there might have been a tripwire actually.
Okay.
Oh, sniper engagement here again. Will Aimstrong be able to counter-fire? He's got the incendiary this time.
Oh, he again gets it. Oh, with the counter-snipe from Aimstrong. A man moulded in the sniper meta of Company of Heroes past shows his hand. And Luvnest dared go the sniper against Aimstrong, and he punished him for it, quite frankly, with 3 shots hitting every single time with his sniper. And God, the Soviet Scout sniper team has now been absolutely dissipated.
I think that sniper was always likely to go down, though, just because of everything that's on the field was due to counter that unit. You know, like the G43s, the counter sniper, the incendiaries. It's just very, very well done. And Luvnest, just didn't quite do that too well with his positioning there. You know, could have probably walked out of that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But, yeah, very well played by Aimstrong there, taking a little bit of a lead.
The Dushka is on the field, however. The Dushka is a highly uncounterable unit that is a very difficult thing to cope with. Luvnest has locked in Lend-Lease, a very love it or hate it commander based on who's using it, and if it's something that's been inflicted upon you or something you're inflicting upon somebody else. It's a very difficult commander to cope with. Dushkas into M4C Shermans, it's a really good commander.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it's going to allow him the chance as well to get some fuel if Aimstrong, dominates the fuel resource game, because he is able to, of course, Allied Supply Drop, going to drop him a little bit of resources in there so he can always either tech or get those M4C Shermans out on the field. We might, if he's going to go heavy into that, we might see him go tier 4, like all the way up to tier 4, because it will increase the rate that he can get those M4C Shermans out on the field.
Probably just wasted fuel though for M4C Shermans if you're going to spam them, because you can keep one on the field and wait the 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes or something. It doesn't actually matter that much. The sniper looks like it's going to escape there thanks to the MG42 giving covering fire. Another demo up. This Grenadier's in a difficult predicament. Could be seeing possibly a demo here. We did see him predicting demos of GB Hooligan very well 3 or 4 weeks ago, but he hasn't predicted this one, and that's a dead Grenadier.
Yes, that's a nice pickup. He needed a pickup like that. He needed to get a squad off of Aimstrong there, and that's going to do the job.
It is going to do the job. Demos are a feared component to be utilising. It's 90 munitions for a squad wipe. And Luvnest is one of those guys that will play as efficiently as possible. He's not somebody that apologises for playing as efficiently as he can in a tournament. He'll use tripwire flares famously and ESL on doorways to get squad wipes. Very lovable guy on stream, but when it comes into a tournament situation, he will play brutally. He does not play stylistically. He plays the game to its maximum potential.
I think this is good, He's got heavy infantry build. This seems like an appropriate response there. Minesweeper's, of course, going to be pushing the field now. After losing a squad like that, he does not want to take any risks. Satchel charge in the central building. Has Aimstrong realised? I don't think he has!
Oh, he messed up with his... He just about got away! Oh my god, that was a pixel! That was literally a nanosecond, a pixel. He messed up with his micro quite significantly there. He couldn't get it out. He got the other squad in out, shake it all about, and we all thought he'd messed up horrifically. And he just about got it out. Oh my god.
I did that myself recently by accident. I managed to get out against the Goliath, and it's a nanosecond, but wow, he got away with that just by the skin of his teeth. He's going to be very, very happy. Look how even the army profiles look at the moment, though.
It is.
Crazy.
Really is very even at the moment. We do have Luvnest with a second scout sniper team out. Does that mean he's kept on hold fire, Dan? Can we verify?
No, he hasn't actually been. He's been taking shots with it whilst the Dushka is pinning the next. Actually, he's moving back now after taking those
low
shots.
Against SVTs, negative cover on that road. The other Grenadier comes to fire, but there's 2 SVTs remaining. It's gotten out there just in the nick of time. There we go. Got a Panzer Fear in the build, as predicted for Aimstrong. Of course, we'll be using these medium tanks to great advantage and waiting for the Tiger in the late game. But it's a great vehicle, the Panzer Fear. It started the war as an anti-infantry and support vehicle, and it was upgraded throughout the war until we get to this variant with the heavy cannon.
Well, I think Luvnest is definitely turning the map around a little bit. This is not so easy for Aimstrong. Luvnest is picking up a great start game here. Things are going to only get better and better as these units build up veterancy. You can access more into its tier. That's where Soviets really start to get strong as well when they start getting into
low
the
in
tier
this
3,
house.
4.
We're going to have to be... Yeah, he's used a satchel. I'm not sure that was a bit overkill against a one-man Gren in a house. He's done it regardless. There we go. There's another demo. Was that?
It was, yeah. That was another demo charge there, I think. And it may have been blown up. It may have been detected by the looks of it.
We've just had another Gren go down there, didn't we? On the top right of your screen there, you'll see he's got 2 Grenadiers left.
Caught it right at the last second. There are body parts there, so it does look like the Grenadier did go down. Aimstrong's going to have to be careful. We may even see him go double Pioneers in some of the rest of these games. Luvnest playing some very dirty tactics here on the field today.
He really is, and he, as I say, he's not an apologist for these dirty tactics. He got really far in the first month of ESL with the tripwire flares, and here he is using demos to great effect. Aimstrong really should be being a lot more careful where he goes and where he treads. He's already lost one squad. He's now lost a second squad to these demo charges. Good thing for him, though, he is the first on the field with a Panzerfear. We do now see, is that the Tankovi Battalion Command, or is it the...
It is, yeah, it's the Tier 3 going up for the Soviets at the moment, and... you know, this is still the dominant unit. I mean, he can get a lot of work done with this. He does need to obviously be careful of any mines and things. He must know that they are going down now. So my personal thing is we're probably going to have to play a little bit defensive just for a while whilst he gets some things back up. Grenadiers are coming back on the field. He's still got G43s on one of the squad. Should be right dealing with penals for the most part. But you know, he's not knocked back too much. It's just a bit of a setback from you know, I guess what he was intending to happen.
It absolutely is, and I do completely think that if the shoe was on the other foot, I think Aimstrong would do the exact same to Luvnest with regards to demo charges. He's a great user, to use a quite neutral word there, user, of light gammon bombs as Brits, which do have a very small fuse time and can sometimes be thought of as very powerful. Unfortunately, Sherman coming into effect against the Panzerfear there.
It looked like Aimstrong trying to get a Faust off there, but the Panzer IV didn't penetrate, which means the Faust would have been useless, and he decides to cancel it. Really a difficult one here because there really is no AT on the field other than the Panzer IV, so M4C Sherman Panzer IV is going to be a pretty definitive battle in this game. Luvnest decides that he's willing to make that push.
Got Aimstrong pushing for the fuel in the east. He's still prioritising denial of fuel.
Ooh, I'm predicting it. I think something's coming up. See that sniper moving around.
Sniper sticking to the base peripheries there. Got the Panzerfear with the Faust as an option if he needs to snare the M4C Sherman and keep it at bay.
Yeah, even if this Faust goes off, there's just nothing to finish it.
Well, the Panzerfear, sure.
No, I don't think it'll. I don't think it'll do it. I think it'll still be able to move around.
Probably get into the safe, loving arms of one of the penal battalions with the satchel and get home.
Well, Aimstrong sniper still doing very good work there. 24 kills at the moment. Veteran C3. Luvnest sniper is moving up ever so slowly. They're just outside of each other's range. He's going to wait for that second shot to open up before he goes in again. Demo charge on the right VP still hasn't been swept, and we hope that Aimstrong has remembered that it's there, because he's already lost a fair amount to those at the moment.
Grenadiers with the G43s trying to gun down this penal battalion on retreat. Panzerfear coming into vision. Big shot in against the M4C Sherman. Now attaining Veterancy 1, attaining Blitzkrieg. He's also getting a Sturmgewehr as well to help accompany the medium armor forces of Aimstrong.
Oh, okay, it did go off.
Oh god, another demo's gone off. This time Aimstrong gets away with only losing 3 squad members of the Grenadier squad. However, he is in now full retreat across the field. Only the sniper remains on the field and the Panzerfear.
Oh gosh, here we go, and Aimstrong sniper uncloaks. Has Luvnest seen it? He's targeting it right now. It's gonna go down. Sniper's down for Aimstrong. 24 kills it was on just a second ago. It's a huge manpower eater. Look at Aimstrong's army right now.
It's lacking quite a bit right now. It's lost a lot of the infantry forces. Snipers now down. Here comes the Sturmgeschütz though.
I'm actually thinking, I mean, you know, like Aimstrong knew that demo was there. He swept it earlier. He's either playing very, very fast on the field right now and didn't have time to actually register that was there, or he is a little bit rattled and maybe forgot about it. You know, maybe he's under pressure right now, you could say. But he needs to just focus on maybe getting some territory, holding back off of Luvnest. Something which I'm sure he'll be able to do. He's got time.
It was a great counter snipe by Luvnest there. He's gone for that second snipe, which is always a ballsy decision. It's a mark of a top-level player to do that. And he reaped the benefits of his own determination, if you will. Second M4C Sherman coming out.
Yeah, 2 Shermans versus Panzer IV and Stug. It's going to be an interesting one there. M4C Sherman, I think, just waiting for that Panzer IV to open up. There he goes, seeing the target, going to go in. Penal Battalion is always closing that gap to keep the Panzer IV moving. And I actually think that's very good, because when that Panzer IV is moving, the accuracy goes down. So, you know, actually pushing with the penals is very beneficial to that unit for stopping them getting hit by Panzer IV shells.
Yeah, it's really good. The received the defensive accuracy bonuses are massive. Here comes the Sturmgeschütz, possibly force the Sherman to be on the run. Big quota famous coming here as song there. Oh, Grenadier on low health. The SVTs aren't going to get the shots off, though. They have changed target to a Pioneer that's also on low health. They're spoilt for choice with units to kill here, as Aimstrong's lost another one, microing the Panzerfear. A little bit of rust in this first game. He had a great start, and the sniper misses on retreat, seemingly.
You know, going for that Pioneer is very beneficial to him, because Aimstrong needs them.
He does. He really needs to get a
needs
second.
that Pioneer.
Absolutely, he does. The Panzerfear just got blocked in by the Sturmgeschütz. The Sturmgeschütz trying to cover for it, but then the second M40 Sherman's coming into view. Going to take out the Panzerfear. He's now pulled in the Stukas. The Stukas are going to be wailing. They're going to be going for these two Shermans. Will the Panzerfear be able to get out of there? No, it's out of control, careering into a bush. However, the Sherman has gone down to the Sturmgeschütz. The Sherman's now forcing the Sherman to get out of there. The Sturmgeschütz are chasing it. Main gun destroyed. Stuka needs to do some work to recover this.
Oh, he's trying to make that decision. Do I go in for the Stug? Do I risk losing my tank to one of these aircraft? And he's going to make that decision. He's already in a strong enough position after taking that Panzer IV down. He will just wait up for his next M4C Sherman. That was a lovely little save of munitions to get the Ju-87 in. Just saved him. Just saved him.
Well, it kept the Stug alive, but it's not done much else. I mean, he obviously got one Sherman kill, but if you look at Luvnest's fuel count, he's just going to be waiting to get the next Sherman out. He's got the fuel already.
Really?
He's waiting with his Grenadier. It's the most obvious counter ever. He hasn't got the... I can't believe he'd sacrifice a Vet 2 Grenadier. I think Aimstrong at this point is going to stay in this. He's going to try his hardest to stay in this. He's going to play till the very end. I think that's the 5th demo to go off now. I think Aimstrong's got no excuses at this point.
No, I mean, he's trying to use his Pioneers for repair. Can't repair of that. I mean...
There's no Grenadiers left. Did the sniper get the kill on the retreat there?
It would have been
the Penal Battalions have got the kill on retreat there, so that's the last Grenadier to die. Every single Grenadier that Aimstrong has built this game, you think he's built 5 in total, they've all died.
I think Luvnest has really caught on to something here. There's going to be a lot of talk about in this game about the use of demo charges.
He's caught on to it, sorry.
No.
What a revolutionary strategy! It's amazing.
I don't think he has. And I think one of the issues is that Aimstrong is so aggressive.
He is.
Such
really
an
is.
aggressive player. When you put a demo charge down, you instantly negate players' ability because they're either going to have that little thing in the back of their mind that says, I can't push out without minesweepers.
Couldn't he have pushed out better with minesweepers, though? Isn't
He
this on
could have
Aimstrong
done,
this
but he
game?
couldn't have pushed out as broadly as he did. And
Agreed.
I think that's where he started losing units. Is, you know, demos are supposed to confine you for a little while and you just branch out over time. And that's not Aimstrong's playstyle. And Luvnest has just perfectly kind of put things in place to
He
just
knows
negate
this. He should have known this about Luvnest. Every tournament game Luvnest has played for the past 2 years, he has spent all of his munitions on traps, booby traps, demos, tripwire flares, etc. It's how Luvnest plays in tournaments. His Soviets is probably the best, other than possibly Von Ivan's, best Soviet in a tournament. He should have known that. Here we go, the Ostvin's blocking for the Sherman, keeping the Stug in its prime area of operation. Stug trying to get another shot in there. Does get indeed a great shot in. Ostvin's trying to recover, trying to act as the 3 Grenadiers he's missing. He's gone straight for the centre there, the Ostvin. He's forced to retreat with the sniper and pushed that away. The Sherman's now coming in and a mine goes off. Now the Ostvin's down and out. Aimstrong surely has no hope as the abandoned Ostvin is destroyed by Luvnest.
So all he has to do, get these M4C Shermans repaired, get them back up the field and continue that harassment of that Stug. Do we have healing in the base? We don't even have healing in the base for Aimstrong right now. Not that he's got anything to heal. But...
oh, brutal. Every Grenadier he's built, if you go onto the stats and you look at Grenadiers built on Aimstrong at some point, you go on units. So you're currently on Luvnest, unfortunately. So just the Relic Shuffle. That's it. The Relic Shuffle. He's built 7 and lost. He's built 6 and he lost all 6. Now he's built his 7th. So it's not gone too well in preservation terms. And to be honest, I think it is on Aimstrong. I know what you said. He is an aggressive player that likes to push out. Great. Luvnest, mitigated that, but he always does that in tournaments. Aimstrong should have known it and should have pushed out a lot more carefully against his opponents in this case, in my opinion. Oh, as the Sherman takes out the Sturmgeschütz.
Interesting thing we have to remember, we spoke about this already, is that Game 1 is a place that is like free for players to just go at it. Do you know what I mean? Just do something. Like Luvnest can only play this trick once. the demo charges, because Aimstrong's going to be clued up on that kind of thing now.
Oh, absolutely.
So to use this in the game 1 is a really smart idea from Luvnest. It really is. But
He does that, though. I mean, if I take you back to February time, I was trying to convince several players to play in GCS. I was trying to convince... Helping Hands was actually... he wasn't too keen at that point. Dow 3 was on the horizon, for example. Yeah, Luvnest at one point wasn't too keen. Aimstrong didn't even play the game, hadn't since OCF, and Jesulin. With Aimstrong being, I used to talk to him a lot. I said to him, okay, why don't you start playing auto match, see how it goes. It wasn't going well. He wanted to play Soviets. And I was obsing him, and he was playing Soviets back in February. And he said, look how well I'm doing. It was 40 minutes in the game, he had 900 munitions. And I told him, if you ever saw Luvnest play Soviets in a tournament, every single munitions gets put into demos, tripwire flares, and mines.
Yeah.
He should have known this coming into this game, and he should have been a lot more careful, in my opinion. I don't think Luvnest has done anything special. I think he's played amazingly, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing special for him. Aimstrong should have prepared better, but as you say now, he now knows that because it was G1 only.
Yeah. Hopefully he's...
Yeah, hopefully.
We speculate very, very hopefully that is the case. I mean, it still didn't look like such a bad... I mean, look at the graphs here. It looked like the worst situation in the world for KD when you think about what Aimstrong actually lost.
How good his early game was as well. He was G'ing it up in the early game. The chat was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that counter snipe, it just felt like...
It's GG every time something happens. This unit goes down, GG, demo charges up, GG. Like, maybe
he's
we
built
should
a pioneer, GG.
But I mean, we can see on the graphs here, look how even everything is. KD, damage, caps. Like, this is going to be such a good series. And you can really see again,
the demos. Demo 1, Demo 2, Demo 3. It's such a hype situation, and there's only going to be one loser today, and there's going to be 1,001 winners, 1,000 viewers, including ourselves, and the one other player.
Tenchi.
Tenchi's always a loser. No, the other player.
Just joking.
No, but seriously, whatever happens in this series in particular, it's just awesome. You can't. And both players in tournament situations are they are brutal. I always say that word, but they're very efficient. They're elite players that play to win. It's not like, oh, I'm a sportsman, I'll be stylistic, la 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 la. No, these guys are warriors. This is not that world anymore. The Luvnest you'll see today is not the Luvnest you see on stream, like playing with factions he doesn't play with, playing with commanders for fun. This is the Luvnest that's out for the win, and he's out for it hardcore.
Definitely. Just want to say as well, thank you very much to everybody who's turned out for the first series today. Just under 900 viewers already in the first game. That is actually a record for any KO2 stream I've ever been involved in.
The first game.
For the first game to do that. So, guys, thank you so much for coming out and helping support the community. Like, it's such a good community. Tournaments still got great players. So we're having a lot of fun. We hope you guys are having a lot of fun. Just going to wait for game number 2 to come in.
Also, 9,000 players, KO2, last night. 9,000. Pretty damn good for a 4-year-old game. And me and Dan were talking about it earlier. Me and Dan both have GTX 1080s now. And it almost feels like KO3. Well, I'm not kidding you. I'm not being, I'm not bragging about our graphics cards at all. But I'm just saying that KO2, even though it was a buggy game on release and it had a bad release in every single respect, the PCs are now to the standard where they can make this game look amazing. And the graphics are better than any other RTS game on the market.
Oh, God,
and it's 4 years old. The community's stronger than it's ever been, quite frankly. GCS feels as big to me as the original TFN's World Championship, any of the SNFs, the OCF tournament, Warpaint. It feels as big, and this is 4 years later. I don't think KO2 a dead game. I'm laughing at anybody that's ever said that, quite frankly.
For me, it gets better because, I mean, whenever we look back, and just see all the old casts that we were doing earlier, I'm thinking how did we cast like this in this frame rate?
We watched it was Cruzy versus Barton, and it was 12 frames per second.
I'm how did we do it? Credit to you guys for actually watching all of that because it's difficult to watch, quite frankly. But now we're in a situation where we've got blessed 1080p and all the rest of it. So this is good. We've got the second game available now, which we're just going to go into. Let me do the preparations as we go into a second game, but the things have just started to get very,
You're going to
very
show all these
tense.
beautiful people our new intro. That little.
I certainly will, actually. Yeah, we should do that. We were
Yeah.
going to do it before every game. I've forgotten. But yeah, once we
Good
get
job
in,
I'm here.
I'll definitely. We'll try and run that in the proper format.
9,455 players right now, and it's not even prime time for Code 2,
Wow.
thanks to the Steam sale.
They should be watching this event.
There was like a Reddit post as well on one of the... yeah, I wish they were. That'd be great. There's loads of daytime scrubbers as well, taking advantage of all the top players watching this stream, you know. Tenchi!
Oh, yep.
Trying to get his OKW rank up, no doubt.
Yes. Well, I don't know about what anybody was expecting the first score and the scoreline to be. Just updating 1 in the bracket for Luvnest.
I think, to be honest, on paper, although people did have this in the polls, they had this quite even. I think people do, on paper, expect Luvnest. He's the bookie's favourite, basically. Aimstrong, great name from the past. He's only had 3 months of Code 2 prep, the first time in 18 months, or 2 years rather, that he's actually played the game. Or so. It's one of those situations where people do expect Luvnest to win, but they give Aimstrong a fighting chance. You know, it's one of those situations. With regards to the actual poll results, they had Luvnest. The most likely result is 3-1, 3-2 rather to Luvnest. That's the most likely result. So people expect Aimstrong to win games today, and anything can happen in Code 2. He could win the damn match. Basically, is what the bookies would say for this one. Me personally, I just want to see great games. Genuinely do not mind who wins. They're both players from Central Europe, so the playing fare is pretty similar, so the budget won't be affected. I'm joking. So it's great. Who cares? Woohoo!
It's that is what we are here for. Just on the chat, by the way, again, Electrolf, this is AE, the handsome girl on my right-hand side here. Thank you, Dorijan, for the compliment. Really appreciate, by the way, a lot of the compliments and things, some of the messages you guys send in outside of the tournament too. Like, we're doing this for you. We're glad you appreciate it. So, but also, it's more thanks to you guys for keeping the community alive, because we are.
Big thanks to people like Dangerous Cloth, who's posted the GCS tourney on our PC Gaming, the Reddit for PC Gaming. Little things like that matter so much, because it could only take one person sharing a really cool organic event like this is a true organic event, and sharing it somewhere on the internet that could really drag 1,000 extra viewers in here. Not using something a little tiny bit more cynical like Twitch front page, which is kind of a bit artificial. It's always a bit more organic when somebody posts it on like a PC Gaming forum, for example, and people come in and tune in legitimately. I'd much rather see that. So if any of you are here watching it from that, welcome. Are we ready for game 2?
Take a deep breath.
Oh, come on.
We're ready for game 2.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game 2 of today's series, Aimstrong versus Luvnest. You guys can see in the score bracket at the moment that in game 1, we did have the German fortress, Luvnest. It's currently playing on the north side of Crossroads as the Austere, taking game 1 by storm.
By storm, thank you for the introduction, Stormless. But in the south, he's got somebody that he did something in OCF after losing game 1. After losing a great game on Arnhem Checkpoint against DevM in the final. He lost a 35-minute all-time classic as casted by Ami Politsai Funk Romeo in the OCF final. He then won the next game in 9 minutes. He's not somebody that gets coy, gets fearful, gets dominated easily. He'll come back and he'll land a haymaker. This unit here, this Tommy section, is Aimstrong's Tommy section, the #1 Brit player in the world. And quite frankly, he's going to be out for vengeance right now in Game 2 of the quarterfinals of the Grand Championship Series.
That is right indeed. This is going to be a very interesting match. Looks like Aimstrong is going aggressive with the Tommies. He hasn't even gone for the other side, really. He's actually just going to go straight up the middle. And this is good. I like seeing this faction played aggressively, because I do think it's difficult to do. I think it's difficult to do and hold territory. I think that's something Brits maybe struggle with a little bit. But he's prepared to do it. He needs to just build some cover positions, make sure he's ready for the Austere. But Luvnest, look at this. He's already got Grens pushing the right-hand side. He's going to pick up on this straight away. Defend the left, cap the right. Could be a great start if he can pull it off correctly. Aimstrong's got to be very confident about what he does right now.
He's got to be very confident. He's got to be concerted. He's got to be deliberate. Right now, he's just finished off the green sandbag wall, just outside the nick of time, and maintain a bit of suppression. He's going to be able to maintain his position there, but there is no follow-up right now except for the Vickers. It is an Admiral Akbar trap, if you will. I've got another Tom coming into picture a little bit late, but better late rather than never. Sees the Grenadiers waiting for him, though, behind their own respective green cover. That's right. That's Luvnest's green cover and barbed wire position. Good camera work, Stormers. And he's put that there for one reason, because he hates that piece of negative cover road leading out of his house, I wanted to say, base rather, because he just hates it. He's been honest about the stream. He thinks his map's great except for the negative cover there, so he's clearly trying to mitigate that. So great usage by Luvnest there. He's always using that stuff in tournament games, by the way, barbed wire and these defensive structures that can terraform the battle in his favour.
Luvnest does need to try and get into some green cover here, though. He's had to abandon capping fuel on the left side. Got fuel on the right connected, which is good for him. It means what he has to do is try and somehow stunt Aimstrong's fuel income. It's really nice to see the map divided this way, because we normally see, like Axis take left, allies take the right. This time it's really nice to see them do something different.
Going for the cut-off, going to neutralise it. He's got another seconds left. The Grenadiers are trying to rescue the situation. Jumps outside the circle, accidentally allowing the Grenadiers to get there just in the nick of time. They do kill one of the models in the meantime, however. He's now back in the capping circle. He's finding Luvnest's own green cover, which will bring him out of line with the Pioneers there. Also, by the way, we've got a mortar firing from beyond the hedgerow. Grenadier going down in the north there, Dan. Very careful situation across the negative cover. Tommy's was actually firing on the Pioneers. I got really excited for a moment. Oh, the mortar! Jesus Christ, the mortar! He tempted fate by staying behind a sandbag wall, and that's gone brutally badly for Aimstrong. Highly unfortunate.
Yeah, I think that was risky, because it's just so close as well. The closer the mortar is, the more accurate it's going to be. He doesn't want to be losing squads like that in the early game. How unfortunate. How unfortunate.
Oh, God. I know mortars are one of those things that the Co 1 elite kind of players coming into Co 2 absolutely despise. There's this Pioneer possibly. No, going down. I think Aimstrong's luck's riding high at the moment. It's an all-time low, seemingly. But back in when Co 2 got released, mortars, I literally used to obliterate everything. It was hilarious. So whenever like a Co 1 player that never really took to Co 2 gets killed by a mortar, it's always kind of a bit of a... Do you remember when Co 2 first got released and you hated it? Yeah. Now your units are absolutely destroyed.
I don't actually think, though, that was enough to put Aimstrong too much on the back foot, because as frustrating as that is, he's still winning heavily on map control right now. He made a very clever decap of the strategic point to stop the fuel income for Luvnest. We hope maybe that Luvnest is going to battle phase 1 right now, but he might be late into any kind of teching that Aimstrong can take advantage of. He's had stable fuel for this game. He's continuing to hold more strategic points, so he can still bring out a unit that's bigger and win by teching.
Oh, this Tommy's got to be careful, though. What's he doing?
I don't know. I have no idea what this is.
Getting a little bit sloppy now. Getting sloppy. That was bad. He might lose another Tommy. This could be very bad. Just make it behind the apex corner of that house there, saving its life. Vickers also managing to escape. The mortar, the hero mortar of the Wehrmacht for Luvnest, is now getting into a prime position to levy those shells from afar and be a lot more aggressive, as is this Grenadier.
It is, yeah, and of course this Gren is going to provide a counter decap, which means resources in this game are just all over the place, you know what I mean? It's actually decapping through the VP as well, so what looked like a great resource position for Aimstrong now turns into a potentially good resource advantage for Luvnest, and Luvnest just really knows how to work the map control. I think he's doing so well in that aspect.
It's always highly indicative of one of these high-level, elite-level players. Their micro is so high, their APM is to levels that we don't really get, so what we end up seeing is the map just being swallowed up by them. Cowering behind their house there from the mortar fire. You can see the damage that's been done to the roof there, and he's having to dart in and dart out thanks to that great fix that the Relic gave in 2015, allowing you to instantly occupy and vacate a building instantly. It's added so much to high level play.
It's not quite getting the timing right, I think.
You
got to get out before the mortar hits.
Wait, boys, get in the house to brace it with your heads.
Yeah, hold up the walls. Not quite getting it. I think he's just trying to stop Luvnest from getting it, which he will do, but it's very low health now. The mortar's actually moving, so he's not going to have that same problem anymore. May even get a wipe on these Grenadiers if Luvnest doesn't identify the low health straight away. And he's got to be so careful about that. They've got to cross through some negative cover as they go off. Will those Tommies get the final couple of shots off?
Oh, Aimstrong's not firing on a cylinder because he also had another Tommy he could have brought in to possibly configure the situation there. We've got a 222 fancy scout car in the build. Butchered in pronunciation by AE there, as always. House has gone down in the centre. There wasn't a unit in it, so it's absolutely fine now. The mortar is just continually firing at it. And Grenadier escaping with about a third of its health.
Well, let's have a quick look at how it's going so far. Again, another game where it's so even on things like this. It's crazy. Like, even in caps, even in KD, these players are so evenly matched in this. But let's have a look at what difference this scout car actually makes. Because it's got a good window of opportunity on the field right now.
Oh, this LMG 42 is gunning this Tommy down, trying to get out, but he's absolutely been assassinated there as his corpse lays strewn across the bushes, and the scout car now comes into vision. Aimstrong does not have any natural counter out whatsoever, except for the meat shield that is his units, and Luvnest knows it. He's going in for the kill. He's tracking this Tommy back into base like a hunter. He's hunting for blood. The Vickers comes out to try and offer a meat shield to defend it. Another Tommy comes out with the boys' anti-tank rifle, plinks away into the scout car, could damage it, and the Vickers finishes it off. Great reactions by Aimstrong. He chose a commander with the boys' anti-tank rifles, indicative to it. Great reactions by him.
What a throw. What a throw of that grenade. That was insane. And yeah, what a pickup, really. Again, just starting to equalize the army that's on the field at the moment. Luvnest is trying to decap through the center. Aimstrong pushing up the left side to get the VP and strategic points, doing an excellent job here.
And that's the kind of thing that Aimstrong is capable of. That's why he is a big name player. That's why at one point he was the best player in the game back in 2011 era. This isn't his era though. This is 6 years later, and here he is pulling out the big plays against one of the dominant KO2 players.
Did you see that?
What have
Did
we
you
seen?
see him faking rifle grenades at the moment?
Oh, is he?
He's making it make the rifle grenade sound and then cancelling it so that
That is
Aimstrong is moving
psychological.
out of green cover.
It's such an APM sync for both players though, because it is for Luvnest to fakey it, and then it of course is for Aimstrong to keep dodging it and getting himself out of cover. Ooh, Vickers low on retreat here. LMG's trying to finish it off. It is going to be close to Aimstrong's base there.
Oh my gosh, gets it as well.
Oh, now the Grenadier in turn. Are there any units on the retreat path? It does not look likely, with an MG42 watching over it.
Yeah, I think he can cover it fairly well at the moment. Wow,
This commander for Aimstrong that he's forced himself into to get the boys' anti-tank rifle Tommies. What's it got as a late game potential?
Late game potential is concentrated fire option, but this is a huge one because it's a bit like the railway artillery, which is going to be able to pretty much demolish any stronghold that Luvnest decides to put up. Hold the line is very, very good if Aimstrong finds himself being pushed hard by Luvnest, because it will provide tons of support, but we do have the big one, which is of course the crocodile, and this will literally burn and incinerate anything in its path.
Tommy squad is alone. Opposition in the north there. Throws in.
Artillery, yeah, I think artillery's going to be coming down from there, but it looked like it was going to be, yeah, that's going to be a signal for the British base houses to turn and start firing on that position. Luvnest knows this and is going to start moving his units away from that stronghold.
This commander isn't one we see Aimstrong use at all, to be honest. He's such a utilizer of the airborne landing officer and such, so this with this commander choice, it isn't something that we see him use. That's why it's a little bit off meta for him. But it is an interesting one. Helping Hands actually uses it to great effect, and I think it's actually his go-to British commander.
It is, yeah. It's a really nice commander if you want to maybe avoid going AEC and still have to be something to be able to deal with Tier 2, which Aimstrong has already got the benefit out of this. So he saved himself going for AEC. He can maybe rush the Cromwell a little bit earlier, or he can go for something else of his choosing. So
Half-track's a damn good option as well, because you don't have to upgrade manually to get the Piats and the Brens. You can actually just get them on your infantry just for the cost of the munitions, you know, with no fuel associated. So that is actually a good economy and efficiency saving. Or the fuel is less, rather, to get the half-track on.
Well, we'll hope that we see him go for that, because normally I think we see him play Vanguard. Vanguard is the one, I think we saw that, didn't we, against Jezelin last week. So let's see how familiar he is.
See, I often call commanders by the things that they give you. So that for me is the airborne landing officer commander, because that's what it gives Aimstrong, the ability to throw those light gammons and cloak around and do the damage. And he's ever so reliant on that to get squad wipes, so he's really forcing himself into a really late game here. And we do, however, have the Cromwell in the build for Aimstrong.
We certainly do, but we do have 80 on the field already for Luvnest. We have seen Minesweepers just upgraded on the Pioneers here, so it looks like Luvnest maybe just wanting to start pushing the right-hand side. Maybe he feels confident he's got a lockdown on the left to mid now, and he's going to consider pushing this side. It'll be a great distraction against Aimstrong if he is occupied trying to defend the right, leaving Luvnest to secure left. And yeah, I think that's the way that it looks like it's going. Cromwell's about to hit the field now, and we'll see if this is the unit that's going to be able to make the difference in this game.
The squad's gone.
Oh, we've just seen something dive the British Army elsewhere on the map.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Be this maybe?
Looks highly likely. It was a heavy confrontation somewhere. But it's not looking too bad for him overall, it must be said. He's still got three Tommies. So it looks like one of the other Tommies he's lost. But the Cromwell can be a difference maker as it fires its first shot, killing 2 models. Can even finish off on retreat here as the second shot does indeed connect. Slinks away. He is fearful of anti-tank options, of which there is another one emerging for Luvnest. He has a second Pack 40 in the build.
Oh yes, it's not been a particularly good game for preservation for Aimstrong, has it? Things have just kind of been popping all over the place. I'm wondering if he's actually spreading himself a little bit too thin for what he can handle against Luvnest.
Yeah, I mean, one thing with Aimstrong, he has a high APM player, he tries to outmuscle people, but in a game of this caliber, he's up against somebody that's got similar levels of capabilities, so it may actually stretch him a little bit thin. Is he there? Has just lost, I believe, another squad?
Yep. He's losing them left, right, and centre at the moment. We're going to watch this engagement where the pack gun tries to target maybe through the hedgerows, trying to get those ground attack shots off. They're just missing the treads of the Cromwell. Flanked from the Tommies here. Do they have the pyrotechnic supplies available to throw it? Again, they do. Could cause problems for Luvnest with his fixed position there in the centre. But, you know, increasingly, Aimstrong is just running out of things to play with. And he's a very good player when he has an arsenal to deal with, but unless he has it, you really got to wonder what his plan is.
In his favour, though, he does have a Cromwell, so he can actually keep the back lines and keep his own territories as long as he's got something to keep in the way of the packs. Obviously, his army is heavily diminished now. He's just got a Vickers, the Royal Engineers, and 2 Tommy squads of different capabilities. So it's a very small army. He can keep a small contingent of his base, though. Grenadier in a difficult situation here. Moving accuracy is a debuff to the Cromwell, and it is now behind a sight blocker. He goes for the attack round through the sight blocker and misses. And the Pack 40 then hits the rear armour and spanks the tank and sends it back home packing.
It was a pretty powerful shot there, double AT guns, and it's completely in place of any teching that we see from Luvnest at the moment. He's got plenty of fuel to play with, but he isn't spending it. I kind of wonder if he's actually just going to go straight into a heavy vehicle at this rate, because he's got 2 commanders, of course, that do have access to a Tiger. Whether he's going to go Tiger Ace or whether he's going to go for a standard Tiger with Lightning Roar, not sure, but 13 CP for the Tiger could go straight.
What are these Pack 40s doing? They've got the Cromwell stricken. They're attack grounding. They're trying to find it. They did indeed hit it with a target weak point there, I believe, giving it momentarily.
He's faking those rifle grenades constantly. Do you see them? It's really, really good just to keep Brits moving if you can be quick with it. And he's just not spending those munitions resources, still getting the value of pushing things out of cover. So really, really high level micro play from Luvnest here.
It's very high level play, and I think Aimstrong's been good, but he's not been as good. As you've now got a sniper coming out. A sniper is a comeback mechanic for one of these players of these calibers. They can start to use them. If they can survive into the mid to late game, they can use the benefits of them. Is that a mine there from...
yeah, it's a telemine.
It's not a telemine. It's M6 mine of Aimstrong, so it's going to cause issues. He's swept it and then placed his own mine on top of his opponent's mine, which is another thing that you see from these high-level players. Very psychological thing to do.
Well, literally pointed out a telemine Luvnest, so I was like, make the assumption, but it's a really nice thing. I don't know if you remember, we used to cast Jove's games, and what Jove used to do is he'd detect a mine and he would just, instead of blowing it up, he'd plant his own on top of it. I think that's going to confuse Luvnest. Like, why's my mine just gone off?
Yeah, no, this is a very, very familiar high-level tactic, and mostly tournament kind of plays, to be honest. It's just one of those things from a Company of Heroes kind of long and past of mine meta. Here we go, we've got the LMG Grenadiers with the rifle nade. Very well dodged by Aimstrong. It was not a fake key this time. It was very much a real rifle grenade coming plummeting against him. He dodged it all the same. Sniper opens up with that big 55 cal. That's right, 55 caliber anti-tank rifle. in Company Heroes. That's right, we do have some outlandish units in this World War II game. I think it's all the better for it, quite frankly.
Luvnest has just decided to...
Sniper's in difficult territory. Got a Grenadier. He's currently flanking it. He's in position. He's not been possibly spotted by the territory yet. He's on hold fire behind the bushes. It's going to be a bit game of cat and mouse in the meantime. Sniper knows it. He's getting hunted down. There isn't any Tommies to protect. He's found him. He's taken a shot. The Cromwell's now in the picture, but the Sniper... Oh, with this phosphorus round! He's covered for him. He's blocking for him with the Cromwell. This is why Aimstrong's a big name player. It's plays like these that have made him a household name in Company Heroes competitive. It isn't the lack of preservation we've seen. It's the innovation we do see just there. He kept a Sniper alive with the smoke from the tank.
That was a really, really good play there to save that. He was kind of waiting just for the last minute to retreat. Very, very well played. Luvnest looked nearly guaranteed to get that kill. Just as we were saying before, though, Luvnest has tech tier 3. He's going to have the Panzer IV on the field in just a second, so not confident to wait all the way up to Tiger. It looked like that might have been his plan, but he's actually very well timed his resources so that he can tech when he needs to and get that Panzer IV out at exactly
I've not
right
seen chat explode like that for a very long time, and I think people may start to realise why this guy that hasn't played KO2 for 18 months is such a big name, and why people do revere him. And it was just a moment of genius, but now we've got the Panzer IV on the field, and no amounts of moments of genius are going to cover for you when you've got a 40-ton vehicle of destruction bearing down upon you. And Luvnest has been the better player in this series so far, and he's showing signs of having the bigger army, and quite frankly, he's putting the cost down on his Danish opponent here.
Gosh, what a game so far, and Aimstrong still could be very, very much in this right now. He's got a lot of ground to make, but when someone pulls off plays like that, when someone pulls off these really key little things, you realise that's someone who can turn situations around in the heat of the moment, and that is where a lot of games really can be won here. What a high-level game, honestly. But Pack 40 being chased down by Tommies through the centre here. Luvnest just kind of securing his grip on the left-hand side to mid. He's on a triple cap at the moment, which means that 1VP is draining from Aimstrong every single second. And Aimstrong really has to refocus, really just grab that VP so quickly so he can stem this drain.
Because Aimstrong has always been a high-level competitive player coming in tournaments and trying to use extremely creative, I don't want to say the word abusive, but creative strategies to literally just outmuscle people in the early game. His graphs, if you go on the official leaderboard, his graphs are... Nice sweeping there by Luvnest. His graphs are really indicative of somebody that wins in the early game, but begins to struggle the longer a game goes on. The story is there with his particular player profile, so we'll be very much interested to see if Aimstrong has been practicing to the extent for GCS where he can outmuscle the German Behemoth in the mid to late game. The Cromwell now dawning on the Panzer IV.
Important engagement there. Aimstrong does not want to push because he's so afraid of Tellers at that health that he wouldn't be able to deal with the Panzer IV. Just doesn't want to push anyway. There's 2 pack guns. It's a sensible choice. It's good to see. It's good to see that he is playing sensibly there, because I think he knows. That shows to me he knows he's on the back foot right now. He really does.
Yeah, it's so clear to him as that Tommy just loses 3 models on retreat there. It's just... And that Vet 2 mortar is going to continue to keep firing. The Sturmgeschütz is now showing its worth. He's got 2 Pack 40s, a Panzer IV and a Sturmgeschütz. I think Aimstrong's going to be needing some big guns in order to build his way out of this, and he's going to have to be extremely creative in how he plays. Oh god, see what Luvnest locked in as well. That's it. Just insult to injury. It's like the Wehrmacht war machines gearing up. You know, Hitler's wet dream machines coming out, the Tiger Ace with Mikhail Wittmann at the helm, going to hit the battlefield, and the poor Tommies, they're just going to get obliterated.
I actually think it's a really sensible decision to do that. If you've got 2 out from tier 3 and you're comfortable, you can wait up to 17 CP and stack manpower, which he can. He's winning the manpower battle. He knows he can save those resources up. It's really a very, very good decision to go for that unit. And when that comes out on the field, it's just going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm excited to see it. I really am excited to see that unit on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. The Pack 40s there denying the Cromwell its vestige of sustainability on the field. It's going to have to go back and be repaired yet again. It's the one vehicle that's keeping Aimstrong in this, and it's possibly going to die to a Panzerfaust if there's one coming. Is able to just about eke out of there and survive for another day. Those crew members have seen a lot of stuff, and they're going to have a lot of stories they won't be telling their grandkids because they'll probably have a lot of stress after the war.
Gosh, really got to wonder. We've talked a lot at the start of this series about the psychology of gameplay here, and this is looking very, very positive for Luvnest right now. And if it does go to this game 3, obviously we'll go to a game 3, but in this game 3, if it goes to in hands of Luvnest, we'll be wondering how Aimstrong is going to be feeling about getting in and playing his Axis again.
I think he'd be feeling quite strong, to be honest. His Axis, Wehrmacht is his favourite faction overall. As the sniper gets executed yet again by Luvnest with the great hunting. That's right, hunting for the snipers. They've been told there's a sniper on the field, and they've gone hunting. They've found it. The Pintelmatt trying to shoot the lone Tommy on retreat there. And Luvnest is simply out muscling Aimstrong in this game with the fantastic plays.
Feeling a little tense, to be honest, for Aimstrong. Aimstrong's easily been one of the stronger players in this tournament so far. You know, like we've seen some devastation from him. He's got a lot up his sleeve. It really does have a lot up his sleeve. He's been very unlucky. Game 1, incredibly unlucky for him. This game, again, a couple of unlucky moments that he's had. But what do you think? What do you think it's looking like? We've got Vet 3, Vet 3 core infantry on the field now. We're seeing single models run up the field, maybe with the potential of capping. We might be looking to use one of these abilities and getting the munitions resource for it.
Vickers there, assassinated by the Pintelmount. We got the 6-pounder out, trying to defeat the Sturmgeschütz. It works together in tandem with the boys' anti-tank rifles, maybe able to polish it off. The assault gun's trying to reverse out of there. Assault gun, given a tank destroyer designation, is now literally obliterated. Doesn't matter what designation it has when it's in several thousand pieces.
Yeah, a very good play there. Removing something from that tier as well, maybe evening the field a little bit for the Cromwell, but of course it still has to deal with the 2 AT guns, and it's going to be very difficult for him to do without indirect fire. He still does have the ability to use base artillery. Nice rifle grenade there from Luvnest, forcing again the Tommies off the field. Aimstrong just can't get the Cromwell repaired quick enough.
The Cromwell. It is the Cromwell. It's pretty much the bastion of his entire army. He's tried his hardest in this game, but his hardest hasn't been quite frankly good enough against Luvnest's Wehrmacht in this particular game. In the previous game, you could argue Aimstrong was highly unlucky. In this game, he did obviously suffer that horrendous mortar wipe against him. But in general, Luvnest has just been the superior force in this particular game, with especially those sniper flanks. A thing of beauty. And Aimstrong's just not had the infantry preservation to protect his sniper, keep it alive, and he's now losing the Vickers as well, to add insult to further injury upon injury. He's got a bruised and battered face in this particular game.
Oh yes, of course, all this time that Luvnest has had control over the right-hand side, there's been Telemines going down everywhere. And that means, with only one squad, we saw it in the first game, he can't be everywhere on the field at once with this. He needs the engineers at one point to support, and on the other side, he needs them to go and minesweep. He can't have both. We're seeing a Comet in the build now, which is going to be quite nice to help deal with what looks like the Tiger Ace at any second could come in.
If you look at the victory point count, none of that matters, to be honest. The Comet is pretty much going to be highly indicative of what it actually did in World War II, which was nothing. And the Tiger Ace is just going to literally overlook the winning celebrations as the Comet, the only Comet, goes down to the Panzerfaust and the Pak-40s in tandem.
Wow. 10 points remaining, no chance of grabbing 2 VPs. It's going to be 2 games in hand to Luvnest at this point. A result which doesn't surprise some and really surprises others. But still with a potential 3 games to go in the series, we're about to see Aimstrong, I believe, pull out his very best. I think we're going to see him pull out a very strong performance next game.
I genuinely do. I don't actually particularly find Luvnest winning 2 tournament games in that fashion, in that way, surprising even slightly. We've seen it for years. Luvnest is possibly the archetypal esports competitor of Company Heroes 2. He's just got the right attitude. He plays with a tenacious desire to win. He plays effectively. So him being 2-0 up in this series is not surprising to me. But what won't be surprising either is if Aimstrong suddenly comes back with a miraculous 9-minute victory in Game 3. I genuinely think that anything could happen, basically. Do not be surprised if Aimstrong suddenly finds what he needs to find in order to make this truly competitive series.
Better update that scoreboard. Yep, keeping a good eye on this.
1,000 viewers, by the way, in chat. A lot of hype there from us. We've been wanting that big, sweet psychological milestone. 1,000 viewers without host, just organic growth, of word of mouth of the good news that KO2 is alive and well and strong. Very strong.
It has been, and thank you very much, guys, for turning out. We've got 2 incredible series for you today. Really, and flex the shirt. No, it's cool.
It was crumpled. It was crumpled.
We got 2 incredible series. You guys can see on the screen below. We've got the series we're in now. Luvnest versus Aimstrong. Luvnest 2-0 up in the series. There's so much pressure on Aimstrong.
A lot of pressure.
We could have the pleasure of seeing him clear 3 games in a row, and that's what he has to do in order to progress.
It's the shame that DevM will give him if he doesn't win, because DevM said you need to come to the final with me and stand on stage and play me. And Aimstrong's thinking, oh god, the crap I'm going to get off DevM for the next year.
I'm not, with the utmost respect to DevM, I wouldn't want him prodding me and teasing me, that's the one. But I think he's in chat, actually. It's good to have DevM here watching too. We have also got a second series after this. This is actually potentially the bigger series.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think for people watching, we've got a lot of Helping Hands fans. Remember?
The next series is the bigger series. Yeah, yes, I agree. Yeah, definitely. That's why it's on last. Yeah,
I was wondering. We discussed it.
Go on.
But the next series, Helping Hands versus Barton, and this is a series which we deem is just brutal. You got 2 arch nemesis who are really they're just going to cut each other to pieces. It's going to be psychological. It's going to be brutal. They're high skill players. They're high micro players. And I'm really looking forward to that so much.
Barton's just done so many horrific things to Helping Hands in the past 6 years by stream sniping him continuously whilst giving him psychological abuse. Learn to play, but it all amounts to a lot. It's not one thing in particular. It's 6 years of constant ha ha ha, I've just beaten you. He did that to Helping Hands from 2011 2015, especially in tournaments. SNF 5 is a big one, but then now Helping Hands is a far different player. He's psychologically on it. He's the man of 2016 with those big wins. So very excited for that in the next series. But the here and now is the bigger picture with regards to this match. It's Aimstrong needing to find something deep within himself. The thing that made him the player. You used to go on GameReplays.org. It wasn't Malam's replays you cared about. It wasn't DevM's. It wasn't anybody's else. It was the Aimstrong replay pack that people used to get. And if you wanted to get good at the game, you'd go and analyze his replays. He was the man. So he's been the man in the past. Luvnest is clearly the man of this match right now. Yeah. Can Aimstrong find it from within himself to suddenly think to himself, right, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to sweep for demos. I'm going to not bunch up behind green cover whilst I've just seen a mortar fire whistle overhead.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those because where Aimstrong, to me, has been an incredible player is pure aggression. Fast hitting, good micro. The way he dominated Jerusalem was embarrassing.
Horrific.
Yeah, exactly. And Luvnest negates it so well. This is where I actually think Aimstrong needs to just recalibrate the style a little bit. He does. Otherwise, he can win. He can win all he wants. It's just over-aggression. Luvnest is punished.
He needs to give himself a chance. You're actually onto a really good thing there. Perhaps Aimstrong's trying too hard with regards to being overly aggressive in the early game and overly extending himself, and then he's getting punished for it because Luvnest is his equal with APM. So maybe he needs to respect Luvnest a little bit more as his equal in this competition and think to himself, right, I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to take this extremely seriously. I'm going to keep the high levels of attention, but in a more concerted way. And then maybe his preservation will follow. So I actually agree with what you're saying there, 100%.
Preservation is the one thing he's failing on.
It's Common Hero 2. It's the thing. Other RTSs don't have it quite so much. It's, I've lost a few Zerglings. I'll build some more. Woohoo! Yeah. It's more about the macro. But in Code 2, the actual micro, if one squad lives or dies, it is the defining mechanic of the game. It's Company of Heroes. You're building up a heroic company that you need to keep preserving and keep attaining the veterancy of. Exactly. We've got 2 minutes around that till live, so if you want to go grab a beer, if you want to go and...
I'd love one.
We haven't got any left. We drank them all down. It's terrible. We went hard yesterday. No coffee for today, unfortunately.
Oh, yes, we do. Just want to... I see Tenchi, SC2, one of the other casters that's loved. I say loved. He's helped us out a great deal on a couple of weekends.
Jumped in a few times.
Yeah, he has indeed. Thank you very much for the sub, Tenchi. I did see it. I'm sorry I didn't call it. It's difficult when you're casting. If you were doing it whilst casting, I'd tell you not to.
There's a few ways you can... you've supported the project. Massive thanks to everybody. We've said it a million times. This tournament is happening because of you. If you want to support either Dan or I, you can sub to Dan on Twitch or follow him if you don't have any pennies. Or go to my YouTube, which is where the casts end up, which is youtube.com/AECOH. Give me a bit of a sub on there if you want to show me a free bit of love. But in general, we're just happy to do it anyway, aren't we?
We're here for the games.
We're here for the games. That's the main thing.
Games.
The EP helps, certainly, but,
yeah.
you know.
No, this is nice. Nothing brings me more pleasure than kind of like hanging out with you guys, basically, which is what it is, and just watching really good company.
I've always said I'd do it for 100 viewers. That's like, I just do it just to share it with a few guys, just to watch a few good games.
We used to.
We used to, yeah.
We used to, yeah. So let's get those scores ready for this game because I can't believe I'm not. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised.
You're not surprised, you're just surprised. I'm not surprised, I must admit. I'm a friend of Aimstrong's with regards to talk. It's just one of the guys I've always spoken to. But with regards to this series, Luvnest being 2-0 up in a competitive tournament match, it seems to me like the German war machine is just well-oiled and it's on the warpath. It's like another day in the office for Luvnest. It's like you were saying, that's why I laughed. You like, these demos, it's very innovative. It's like, yep, that's just Luvnest.
It's just Luvnest.
It is
just what he does. But we're about ready to go into game. Should we run the intro this time?
10,000 players online for Co2 right now. That's awesome. The intro, yes. Get ready for this, boys.
All right, let's do it. We missed it the last 2 times, so we'll do it now. But,
Hello and welcome to the quarterfinals, Game 3 between Aimstrong and Luvnest. You're looking at the illustrious Wehrmacht of Aimstrong, the Danish competitor in the southeast of Fehmarnville approach.
That's right, and his opponent right now, playing on the north side as the Soviets with 2 games in hand in a best-of-5 series. It is Luvnest, playing once again and as his best faction, the Soviet army.
He dominated Aimstrong in Game 1. Aimstrong had a fantastic start with a great counter snipe. Some really cool stylistic little things that he did here and there that made us think, wow. But do you know what? Do you know what was a lot bigger and a lot more important than that? It was Luvnest clicking on his demo charges and Aimstrong's units flying in several directions in a different configuration to how they scatter. Almost like the Blackadder joke. How would one act if one steps on a landmine, sir? Well, usually, Lieutenant, you scatter yourself over a large area.
You jump 60 feet into the air and scatter yourself over a large area of the battlefield.
That's it. So that's what Aimstrong did very well in that first game, which was literally just get killed to demo. So he's going to be looking to sweep a lot better this game if he wants to be competitive, quite frankly. Good early suppression from the MG. Or he could go for a Aimstrong versus Jesselin style, 9 minutes, set 6 Grens, domination victory. He's got options.
I still have a feeling that he might, because I don't see a change in Aimstrong from his usual tear up the center strategy. We haven't seen him go for resources yet. He's gone through the middle. Luvnest is happy to jump in and out of the building. He's just buying himself time for units to come out of that tier 1, which he's actually sending to the right, which makes me think this is just a decoy to waste time from Aimstrong, whilst tier 1 from Soviets gets itself on the field.
Absolutely. Oh, he's wiring up. He's learned to trick off Frederick. He's learned to trick off Barton. He's destroyed that combat engineer with what is an exploit, but is allowable in the rules of GCS, because quite frankly, we didn't know it was possible because barbed wire was getting patched out, or ghost barbed wire, as it is called. However, very competitive players have been using it in this tournament to great effect. Aimstrong did it beautifully there and decimated that combat engineer as a result.
Well, that, however, was a body block. That was the Grenadier blocking the doorway, which you don't really ever see happen in this game. But
There was barbed wire involved, though.
not on the other side.
Oh, on
He
one
got
side,
out
then
the
he
door,
body
the
blocked the
Gren
other side.
blocked him.
Wow, he smothered him basically
Yeah,
from both
absolutely
sides.
smothered him.
That's
So,
awesome.
Do you know what? I think that was just what Aimstrong needed.
That was like, haha, you want me to play like a malicious go-to bug-abusing player, I will play like that. I'm not saying demos are bugs, but it's very malicious, and he's now all gloves are off quite clearly. There's no chivalry anymore. I was touting this game as the match of pride, like the old knights duking it out. But very much now, it's very much devolved into a cat fight where they're rolling around in the mud trying to claw one another's eyes out. Because Aimstrong does not want to go out of this tournament. He's come back out of an 18-month layoff since being in the OCF final to train for one sole purpose. That's to meet his clanmate Devem on the big stage in the studio on the 1st of July in the final of GCS. So you can bet your life he's not going down without a fight.
No, not at all. And this is a little bit of a setback for Luvnest, because it's going to allow Aimstrong to get a lot of resources off, whilst Luvnest can't really push with as many units as he needed. That being said, though, we have seen Luvnest be very resilient today. We've seen him come back when he needs to. We've seen him make some very good plays. Now he believes that his answer to get back into this quickly is going to lie in the M3 half drive.
I think two things work in Luvnest's favour. One, his practice times. He's been playing KO2 as we see the beautiful GTX 1080 of Stormless showing KO2 as it looks now in 2017. With the buggy release now a thing of the past, modern PC hardware makes this game look like a sequel. It looks awesome. But two great things for Luvnest in general is that he has a lot of practice hours in the past 3 years. He's never stopped playing this game, ever. He's like a fish in water, quite frankly. And the other thing is, he's had a bit of an ambivalence towards the game in general, which to me would mean that he's like, yeah, I know I'm going to win. It's fine. It's just KO2. It's just a thing to him. He's not stressed by this situation. Aimstrong has the stress, and Aimstrong is currently 2-0 down, so that's a bit strenuated right now.
It is indeed. He's got another squad of penal battalions coming out onto the field. G43 is already upgraded, which means the doctrine choice is going to be obvious to Luvnest. It is once again Lightning War, something that Aimstrong feels very confident about using. It's a very good commander, nearly saved him in game 1 of the series.
With that Stuka, of course, it tried to save him. The Stukas, they did their best, but Hermann Goering was not able to save the day, and they failed as a result. So possible foul screen in there against the M3. There you go. Spanking the M3's bottom, making it lick its wounds back in base. The M3 is not going to be a fixture for a short while as the combat engineers are forced to disembark and get their blowtorches out.
Just having a quick look to see what Aimstrong's teching was like there. But
Be non-existent, quite frankly.
yeah, I mean, he's got the resources for it, but I think he's just confident to go heavy tier 1. We've seen him do this.
Oh yes, it is his build. He does not like tier 2 for whatever reason. The combat engineers with the flamethrowers are coming up very close to that garrison. He's got to watch out. The two grenadiers are on the hunt though with their Panzerfaust. That's right. Fist that punches through any armour. It's a brutal component. It's already got the damaged engine. He's looking for a few more. He's got another grenadier coming in. This M3 could be the second unit to be dying for Luvnest in this G3 of this series. A few more Car 98 shots needed.
Yep, M3 does go down there.
Just killed the other combat engineer as well. He's got 3 wipes in total in this game. The Mausers are on point in this game.
Yeah, he's done this very, very well, using that squad at the start. And both of those players seem to stay in that engagement a little bit too long. But Aimstrong seemingly victorious on so many fronts. Now we're going to see the sniper out, but I don't know how Luvnest is going to use this sniper, because he's always been using the combat engineers to spot ahead of the sniper's line of sight. So how is he really going to get the use out of that against the G43s as well? I think this is a mistake in the build.
You're looking at a Panzer IV in 12 minutes as well with this fuel and this map control. Aimstrong will be able to literally keep on top of this, one would hope. There aren't any combat engineers to lay demo traps this time, so he doesn't have to worry until there's one built, and it's going to heavily mitigate the points in which they can be built. So there you go, Aimstrong's in a prime contendership to make this series truly competitive and win this game.
We're going to be watching this one very, very carefully. People, I'm sure, will be eager to know how Soviets get out of a position like this. But of course, he does have 3 squads of penal battalions. He needs to get healing in the base if he hasn't already, so that he'll be able to get those back up to full health. It doesn't look like he has it right now. It doesn't look like he can afford it yet.
Yes, VTs are doing great work as well, Dan. They're actually spotting for the scoped Mosin Nagant of the Scout Sniper team. They're going to be trying to get that shot off. Do some great work. The Grenadiers, though, are out for the kill. Here's the first shot from the Sniper team. There you go. Reducing those Grenadiers to now 6 men in total.
Very confident to stay in those engagements with the Sniper. Probably will miss the shot on the retreat there. Yes, it does. Not something that commonly hits there. And Aimstrong's taking the opportunity to go for that triple cap. Make sure in the early game he gets as many VPs off Luvnest. As if he does start to come back, at least he's going to have that fail-safe.
By the fuel on the east, Pioneer laid a mine. It's an S mine going up. It is indeed.
Field, yeah.
There we go. So he's going to be protecting his fuel counts. He's going to be rushing that Grenadier back to base so it doesn't die. And he'll be looking with a Sniper coming out as well. Frames from such a heavy tier 1. That's 5 Grenadiers, an MG from tier 0 technically speaking. But basically from his base tech, he's gone heavy, and it's a heavy counter to tier 1 Soviets, and he'll be then looking to get tier 3 battle phase 2 out as soon as possible.
He hasn't even reached for that tech yet. He hasn't even reached for anything. It's not likely, of course, that Luvnest is going to rush into any tiers. Bear in mind, he can't even build anything right now. So Aimstrong, oh, this is really, really risky there. Grenadiers trying to focus that Sniper. Don't quite get it because the penal battalions managed to push them off, but that was very out in the open. See this Sniper, if it was a little bit further up, could have got that last shot off.
This is the beauty of a best of 5, and it's why Company Heroes 2 simply demands it when you've got high-level players. Because you could argue Aimstrong has been a little bit unlucky at times, especially with that mortar wipe and a couple of the demos, although he should have been sweeping, obviously. But now his Grenadier shots have been on point in this game, and if this Grenadier survives, it definitely indicates... Oh, I mean, his luck isn't completely surviving yet, but it is a game of luck that ebbs and flows, and it is the top players always come out on top. That's why all top 8 seeds in this tournament have ended up in all 8 spaces of the quarterfinals. But in general, you do need to ride your bad luck until you get your good luck.
Yeah, I think it's like consistency is the word there in a best of 5. Consistency will win you the game. And we'll see who's going to end up that. But it gives Aimstrong a very, very good chance to come back. He's had 2 games to really feel out the essence of his opponent. And he's got himself in a very good position. This will only do good for his confidence as well. The more that he plays like this, the more that he realizes where he can really start to push off his opponent, where he can kind of pressure Luvnest and apply, those winning tactics. Then, that's going to be really beneficial to him.
We had another Grenadier die as well. We had 5 originally, there's only 3 now. So what can happen with KO2 is the play gets so spread that players can miss little things like...
don't excuse it. Like, stuff is happening all over
It's all over the place. I'm just explaining because I think we've got 1,000+ viewers, and many people are picking up the game today. This game demands such concerted efforts with multitasking that even players of literal 10,000 hours each player, probably somewhere around there, Co1 and Co2 combined. These guys they know the game so well, but they cannot protect every single unit every single moment.
Not at all, no. And to be honest, if I could do it, they would be able to do it, which clearly they can't, because they are losing those models all over the place. And we see Luvnest there going in with counter-attack tactics popularised by Barton the other day. That's a nice demo charge. Was he expecting the retreat there?
Nice satchel thrown. It was close. Oh, got another Grenadier in difficult territory as Aimstrong's seen it. It is a suppressed penal battalion, though. As soon as that suppression kicks, their rate of fire plummets. However, the received accuracy also increases. It's almost like they're stuck in limbo for a moment until you basically click the retreat or wait for some reinforcements to arrive.
So let's just have a look at what Luvnest's plan is right now. We see him going for the VP on the right here. We see that he's prioritized connecting his munitions, and that's because he's going to want to use for Mother Russia here, you know, with the penal battalions. He's going to want to just kind of get behind the lines as much as he can, cause as much chaos as he can, and then hopefully retake a lot of ground and the fuel to get his teching back up. It's something that's it's going to be difficult for him to do, to be totally honest. But it seems like a good one. 4 penal battalions. I think if they get through the front lines, they can cause a lot of damage.
Really can. And we also have Tier 3 now coming up, however. There's also a telemine on the road there we need to be watching out for later on. So Tier 3 up from Aimstrong, 11 minutes in. He's going to get his Panzerfear out as soon as he can, to be honest. He's going to probably rely on 3 Grenadiers for the time being and just suck up his losses. He's got great map control. Again, even game. It's look at that suppression. Aimstrong, Luvnest really should have spread those units out a lot more, quite frankly. He was going for a spearhead with the penals, which is a very, very pleasant word for a bit of a blob going on. And he got punished by the suppression tool very well there.
Yeah, of course, he is willing to just sit there. What went off? I think the engineers just walked into the S-mine field there as the Grens were coming in. Those were the engineers that were going to be capping the fuel, starting to get his resources back. And he now, again, cannot tech without that unit on the field. How unfortunate was that?
Also got Aimstrong getting very close to the prerequisite fuel to get a Panzerfear out and get that medium tank firing.
The territory is out of contact.
That was possibly a trip. No, couldn't have been.
He's just a couple of S-mines.
He set off his own tower with a rifle nade then. Oh, good Gavers here. The G43 is firing on the negative cover there. They do actually suffer a shot from the penal battalions who were suppressed. The killing match out there on Feynmanville approach, an absolute killing match.
I was really hoping that sniper would pick up that kill there. Didn't quite manage it. And no need for that teching. Luvnest is committed to the KV-1. I didn't think he would go for that. I thought he would go T-70.
Formation of heavy tank. This thing, Dan, when the Germans tried to invade Soviet Russia and pretty much knock the doors down and the whole rotten structure comes crumbling down, to quote a certain person, they then came up against this tank. This tank was so well-swept demo.
Well, not yet.
Well, no, he's seen it. He's seen it. He might die to it, but he's seen it. But can we just little patter of applause there for Aimstrong for sweeping a demo? If he'd done that in G1, he would have won, possibly. But the KV-1 is out, showing its ugly head. It's a big, heavy, lumbering beast with an underpowered cannon.
That's right.
And it is up against the Panzerfear.
Yeah, we saw this exact thing happen with Korean Army and Barton previously, and actually the KV-1 was a force to be reckoned with, especially once he got some AT guns there. Really became unstoppable. Such high armor means that the Panzer IV barely penetrate. Even the Tiger was struggling sometimes to get that penetration off. So it's going to be an interesting one. And I'm surprised Panzer IV didn't go for a crush there.
No, it's crushing skills. Oh, great, but it's squad wiping skills more than make up for it. With that shot, they were heavily clumped, and they literally got turned into very small clumps of human mass.
Wow, that was fantastic. It's weird because he stayed under the suppression. Whether it was going to be a crush, whether it was going to be that shot, something was going to happen. And Luvnest
got punished.
Yeah.
It was rightly punished as well in that particular case. Panzerfear is now going to be looking to plink away at the heavy armour of the KV-1 and do pretty much nothing.
Very little going on there, to be honest. We're trying not to follow that one too much. But yeah, this is Aimstrong's got enough in the field now to just continually push the field. MG coming up in the centre to try and stop those penal battalions getting in, but the G43 is doing more than well enough right now at preventing penal battalions keeping the close range with them.
Yeah, Panzerfear is doing some bad work in the
sorry,
centre.
people saying Pioneers got demo charged on the retreat. They are still here, don't worry.
Yeah, never listen to chat. We're the professionals here, Dan. Panzer IV is just caught up against a hard front. Great teching decision by Luvnest to mitigate the fact that, oh god, good shot in though from the Panzerkampfwagen is doing great work against the Soviet heavy tank, the original heavy tank.
I mean, it still could work. It still could work. When you get the sniper,
just ran under the treads of a tank. I got killed by the same tank on retreat. Jesus Christ.
This is so brutal. I think because
all damaged engine goes in there. Will the Panzerfear be able to take vengeance for the fallen sharpshooter? Needs another shot. Needs a follow-up shot. Panzerfaust coming in as well from the Vet 3 Grenadier. Will he be able to finish it off? He's finding that rear armor, the juicy rear armor. Will he be able to get it?
That shot's going to penetrate. This might be a GG call if this goes down. Actually,
The Panzerfaust's just been taken out by the KV-1. Rear armor hit the KV-1, so it remains. And now the Vet 3 Grenadier's got to retreat.
What a terrible idea. What a terrible idea that was. I don't know why he pushed in with that. It had no health whatsoever.
Panzerfaust just got killed by, it must have been an attack ground from the KV-1 or something. It was
No,
max
he
range.
drove it up with no health to try and get that last penetrating shot off with the Faust. And it didn't work. I mean, I don't know what he thought was going to happen there. It's way less likely that the Panzer IV would penetrate against the KV-1. That was a gamble which really unlikely to pay off.
What has Aimstrong done in life? The RNG gods despise him at the moment. This is like paying for something that must have happened. Like, do you remember that counter snipe you got on Alias in 2010 or something like that? It's like, well, here's the recompense.
Oh gosh, it's just given Luvnest a chance to come back into this. Fortunately, I mean, Aimstrong still has a lot of resources, so he can still play in this. Look at the veterancy that comes on these units too. He's going to go for the Stug, and this was a good choice. This is what we picked up that Korean Army didn't do against Barton. Was pick something that could deal with the KV-1 front to front, which the Stug has much more chance of doing. So, at least he's making a good... I think this is a good decision for him right now.
Is that Stug the right choice? They shouldn't have waited for the Tiger, possibly.
I don't think that worked before. I think with this one...
Stug's a good choice. It won't reliably penetrate the KV-1, but it will more reliably so than other options available to him, than getting a Pack 40 from Tier 2 like any sane player would do. He just does not seem to want to use Tier 2. It's just an odd thing of his. It's a quirk, if you will.
It really is one of those, though, that I think, given some units have benefits because of their abilities. And
43 with just one model kill now, Dan.
He
Needs to get around the shed. Yeah, should stand still. Needs to get those 3 Gevers firing. Does have a good rate of fire on the move, but needs to stand still. But does not matter because the Gevers get the drop there. That's right. 2 penal battalions down in this series. Or this game, rather. KV-1's been most recently repaired, and he's possibly going to do the loud damage. An instant retreat now. Would you say that Aimstrong fears this tank, Dan?
I don't know. No, I think he's made a good choice here. At least he can get target weak point for this. It's not going to stun the tank, but it will lock the turret, which may help somehow. But, I think it's a good choice. I do think it's a good choice for him to go.
We've got a very even battlefield ahead of us right now. We've got interesting infantry from both standpoints. I mean, Aimstrong does have a lot more veterancy on his infantry, and he's got a better front line, but then you can't deny the fact that Luvnest has a Vet 2 sniper. Elsewhere, you've got Aimstrong with the Vet 3 MG, which could be a difference maker in the late game. But in terms of tanks, it's the battle of the Sturmgewehr and the KV-1. It's almost like we're on the eastern front of the steppe. Got the tank destroyer versus the heavy tank, and the tank destroyer is doing a great job now. It's quitting itself beautifully. It's on the hunt. It's got main gun destroyed on that KV-1. This hero of the Radina is getting taken out by the Stug. Imperial Dane, eat your heart out.
Oh, wow. That is a good decision. That is where a good decision pays off. Knowing that unit, hard counters the one that's on the field, puts him in an excellent position there. And also it gained veterancy so fast. Now he can go and engage the second KV-1 really quickly because he's going to have the target weak point as well. He can even lock the turret. Now the Faust is going to come in. Look at the speed of those reactions from Aimstrong. That is now locked in. Veterancy 2. Armor skirts are now on.
This could be the Sturmgeschütz to end all Sturmgeschütz. If this gets this kill done, it's literally the difference maker. It's a decision that, as you've rightly said, could vindicate Aimstrong, and it's the decision that could make him in this series. This Sturmgeschütz is doing God's work right now, and that was the KV-1 about to kill me. You thought for a second, didn't you?
I was worried. But, wow. I mean, Luvnest, that's a huge investment for him. 2 of the KV-2s there. 290 fuel spent, and no teching in the base apart from Tier 1.
The B4 going to save him as the shot. The second
Don't
sniper.
underestimate the B4. The B4 has a very nice ability where it can lean the turret down.
Can we just all take a moment to look at the Sturmgeschütz and just praise it?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, just look. You've got to be rooting for Aimstrong as the underdog right now in G3. I would anyway, but this is G3. We all want to see a great series, a competitive series. We're sick of 3-0 games in GCS, and this Sturmgeschütz, we have it to thank. So thank you, Mr. Stug.
Yep, but we want to see it do more. Luvnest is still in this game. He's still focusing very hard. Look at this, though, that late retreat there should catch the Grenadiers off. That's a squad wipe there. A very important thing for Luvnest to pick up right now. If he is going to commit to still playing this game, which he is. I mean, the Stug, let's bear in mind, like, the manpower on the field is very important right now because the Stug isn't really going to do much against the infantry. It's had its purpose. It's done its job. Now it's really just a rush for who can get out the big unit that's going to close the game.
So Aimstrong's lost 2 of his Grenadiers that we were talking about. He built 5 originally. He's lost 4 of the 5 Grenadiers, which quite frankly is rather appalling. He doesn't have base healing, does he?
I don't think he...
Does not have base healing. I think that's indicative of somebody that wants to lose as many squads as possible. It's a bit of a facepalm or failfish if you're on Twitch chat moment. You know, you need base healing to be competitive, especially after the 10-minute mark at least. As this penal battalion's about to go down to Gvezu. Luvnest is getting a little bit sloppy now, Dan.
Look at, I mean, 22 minutes in. What has happened to this game? It's ridiculous. And I think this is what happens when you get 2 good players who are just good at whittling down each other's army. They're good at getting squad wipes. If this was anybody else, you'd be like, guys, you've got 3 units to look after. 3 units to look after. But it's you know, it's tiring. It's exhausting putting this much mental effort to playing against your equal, especially at this higher level. And it doesn't surprise me at all that things are getting a little bit sloppy.
You get a real good sense that these guys are equals as well. They're very similar with regards to their, you know, competitive spirit. And in this game, their micro has been equally matched. Aimstrong seems to have gotten gotten rid of his cobwebs from those first 2 games. Started playing a little bit more concerted, a little bit more relaxed, and to be honest, not as trying too hard as we kind of picturized him as doing in the first 2 games. He's now got the Panzer IV hitting the field, and Luvnest knows it's going to happen, so that's why he's gone for a Zist gun back tech from tier 2.
A very good idea, and actually the fact that Aimstrong hasn't gone in for Tiger, he's gone for another unit from tier 3, and if you look at the resources on the map right now, it's actually Luvnest that's going to be controlling fuel. So it's a long way off the Tiger. 80 guns should be able to deal with tier 3 if he can get, you know, anything that's going to be able to snare for him, or maybe even just micro it well. The sniper's just doing so good against the infantry. There's so little to worry about aside from the tanks.
This Panzer IV could actually be a good unit, to be honest. I agree that maybe waiting for Tiger could have been a greater long game investment if he is in for the long game, but the Panzer IV could actually regain map control in the short term and ensure that he keeps the victory point pressure on his opponent. He's going in for a kill though. He's now found the Zist gun. He needs to react as quickly as possible, and there you go. That is pretty much the quickest you can react whilst connecting to a server in Vancouver with your data packet. That's a good reaction and turnaround from Aimstrong.
I
often think it simulates the gears shifting in the tank. You know, you have to... No, go back! It happens, we need to go back! Are you sure? What? What was that? You cut me some slack? No.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Where's our observer?
I would have hated to be in a tank. They're horrifically cramped things. I went in a Panzer IV in Bovington Tank Museum, and it was like... And they said, yeah, the average height of a tank crew member was 5'6", and I was like, oh, really? Okay. Oh god, snipers on hold fire here. He's waiting for a Vet 2 target of the Radina, the Soviet scout sniper team.
Yeah, and he'll be able to get it with this. So all he needs to do is let that sniper take a shot. He'll be able to snipe one model and retreat very, very easily. There really isn't enough on the field to just apply pressure to chase at the moment. Not even enough. He doesn't have to worry about being flanked by Luvnest at this point because there just isn't enough in the field to viably do that. Like I said, look how desperate Luvnest is to keep control of VPs here. You know, just charging into the middle like that. He's trying to get resources everywhere he can right now so that he can save up for something. And it might be more KVs.
Just realised something as well. He now has 2 combat engineers. He has 146 munitions. We could yet again be seeing the planting of the demos. Where's the Wehrmacht sniper in all this? Is he close by?
He is, yeah. He's coming up the middle right now. He hasn't got his veterancy 1 yet, but he's just on the edge of his veterancy at this point.
He could actually get the veterancy in the
first
kill.
shot, and then he uses the ability. And Aimstrong probably knows this.
I think that would be it's one of those things you don't want to put anything past Aimstrong. I think individual moments of genius that we've seen, speaking of demos, oh, for God's sake. I mean, I'm just going to say, I always support the player that's down in a series. I always want to see a best of 5 of epic confrontation. And right now I'm like, Aimstrong, for God's sake, Aimstrong. Look, That isn't a cool thing anymore, demos. You know, they're so 2013 YouTube montage video, a demo. Like, Mum, get the camera! It's not... Now I'm just like, for God's sake, players, please, sweep for demos.
But you know, I love that Luvnest was using the sniper there because he's taking advantage of the sight range increase from the veterancy that comes in. So Vet 3, incredibly long sight range on the sniper now, which is going to really help with planning assaults against the tanks, medium tanks when they come in.
Panzerkehr rearing its ugly head. Gives these Penal Battalions reason to run home. And we've also got the third KV tank on the field.
Oh, I think it looked like he was going to get the sticky satchel if decided to cancel. He blocks the retreat path of the sniper, meaning it has to take an unfavorable retreat. Fortunately, suppression gun. It dies anyway! It still dies to some miracle last shot.
What? They were suppressed!
It's a total fluke. They can still fire. It's so unlikely that would happen.
What?
That was the tank. The tank forced the retreat path.
Yeah, but they were suppressed and that sniper was like max range.
It happened.
Oh my god, I know it happened, I just saw it happen, but for the chances of that to happen, it's like, you know, a soldier lying on his belly being bevied with machine gun fire, accidentally stray bullet shots a sniper on retreat.
You know, like, just one of these players has to just play safely. That's all it needs to happen.
But that was safe. He retreated his sniper.
He's pushing up the field. With
He was
he's
looking for a
losing
counter
his
snipe.
models. He's gonna.
Oh, the Holy Trinity's about to happen.
We were speaking about this. We were speaking about maybe Theodosis loves to do this, and it's a really nice, effective Trinity to have on the field from the Austere. And we'll see what he does with it because he's cancelled it. I think that's a sensible decision. What's the Ostman doing?
Kill things.
Is it?
Oh yeah, he'd need a Pack 40 if he's playing with the Noshvind. I know the Sturmgeschütz is great and all, it's Vet 2, but he's now up against the Zis and the KV-1, which will cover for the Zis, and I'm really worried about Aimstrong's position in this game at the moment. Just why is there no Pack 40 on the field? It's the perfect map for a Pack 40. It's an open field through the centre. He's relying very heavily on the Stug, which is a great unit, but it's always great when used in tandem with the anti-tank gun.
As good as it is, he needs to be so careful here going in with the Stug like this, because he does not want to lose that. It's going to be another Panzer IV, which I think is a sensible decision. He would be able to flank with this, and there's not really anything aside from a couple of Penal Battalions that would be able to get the sticky satchels. If he moves continuously, he might be able to avoid those.
It's on that East Victory Point. The one on the north, that's the west.
Here?
Oh, there's a demo there.
Hidden it in the previous crater. We're mining down. We're just trying to get into the next area. This is like tunnels.
Next level play from Luvnest. He's trying to go through the Earth's mantle with demos charges. Oh, God.
Terraforming.
I mean, Luvnest play as Wehrmacht completely. Anybody that wants to claim that Luvnest has just spammed demos and won this series, his play as Wehrmacht was absolutely awesome in that game too.
Does Aimstrong know you can attack move demos?
Probably not.
I'm really wondering.
He's not a KO2 player, quite frankly. He's a Company Heroes series player that comes in to play competitively for tournaments. You saw it with guys like Korean Army, for example, Devem. These guys that, and Barton to an extent, some of these players that really get engaged in time for a tournament, they miss on some of the finer things in life, such as
Preservation.
It's preservation, or knowing that a Stuka doesn't attack infantry anymore. Or, such things. Another demo there by the fuel as well. He's got
They're everywhere. Luvnest is laying the traps. He's laying the way for destruction. And he's going to go for what looks like he may be trying to get that triple cap.
There's a two-man Grand going south. I just saw it. For God's sake. Goodbye, Grenadier. It's hard to die.
I think maybe he might have just been crushing there so that he can get a better line on it for capping.
He was doing that against Hooligan, if you remember, in the first round of the tournament. He was purposely dodging demo charges by going round the capping circle. So it could be that he's doing that again. Another one being laid by that.
I like this. Do you know what I like about Luvnest is that he's learnt his lessons from a year ago. Back in ESL, if we go all the way back to the beautiful Puma Rush from Barton.
Yes, I didn't know where you're going.
We were saying the whole game, please Luvnest, plant some mines. You've got X amount of munitions. God knows how many it was. But he's doing that. He realises that those pushes are coming in.
Got to be careful. That Penal Battalion that's gone south, by the way, I think it may be spotting for the Grenadier to try and force it to retreat past the demo charge. It doesn't do so thanks to Aimstrong's purposeful, that's right, purposeful crushing of that wall. So that's using terrain to your advantage as the second Clement Voroshilov tank comes onto the field. No, I googled it.
Oh, okay.
You were nodding in praise.
I'm just looking at you like, damn. Wow.
It wasn't the
knowledge.
second, it's about the fourth or the fifth or something. It's the fourth.
Google is your friend.
It is my friend, it's a big friend of mine.
Sniper under duress there as Aimstrong is trying to push up against it. Comes up against the first KV-1. He's trying to, looks like is he trying to pursue the sniper? He's going to go behind the KV-1. He's just seen the second one is given a shot. He's got to be very, very careful because as we've seen, they are penetrating the armor. They're not taking too much in the way of penetration back. And the Stug does not want to push up because, of course, we have got mines down there now.
We have. He did accidentally go past the mines, but these tanks might not go past the mines. This could be Luvnest vindicated. The KV-1 has foolishly, possibly, not laid the trap there. He's now backing away because Luvnest remembers about the trap. He's trying to get them. He's saying, do it now. And they're going for it. The Stug, which does have Veteran 3, needs to be nursed to remain a big fixture of this game. Oh, and out of control for one of the Panzers.
Might trip the mine though as well. He does. At least he gets rid of that mine that Luvnest plants because the tank, whilst it's careering out of control, triggers that one. 80 guns moving up. Bear in mind we've got a huge sight here from the sniper and the peanut battalion standing next to it, so the 80 gun will be able to connect easily. And oh my gosh, what an investment in tier 3 for Aimstrong, and he's just not making the best uses of it right now.
He isn't. He's well, I don't think it's bad play with tier 3 from him. I think it's lack of tier 2, in my opinion. Tier 3 is great, tanks are great, woohoo tanks, but this game's about combined arms play. I know he has an MG that's Vet 3, but other than that, it's just infantry and tanks. You know, it's a very, you know, I've sung Aimstrong's praises a lot, but it's a very command and conquer approach to competitive Company Heroes 2. That does work when you're a fantastic APM, high-skilled player like Aimstrong, but when you're coming up against somebody like Luvnest that's your equal, it possibly isn't what you need. You do need a little bit more depth to your build order, quite frankly.
It does indeed. And we do see Grenadiers, they're trying to be very, very careful about where they're capping right now. Luvnest is just capitalizing on this situation. He's playing safe. He's playing the safe card, just constantly maneuvering around the battlefield, pushing off pockets of Aimstrong's forces, just constantly making sure he's got building of all of his defensive, but you know, he's progressing them up the field. They are defensive, but he's progressing them up the field. He's got great sight from the sniper. It's looking like it's going to go downhill a little bit for Aimstrong. Maybe he should consider saving up for something like the Ju-87s before making a big push like that.
Definitely think he's done the right thing by getting a second Pioneer squad with the Minesweeper. Great decision by him there. I think in terms of victory points, as we see the reconnaissance of Luvnest veer overhead, that's Sturmovic with the crew members looking out of the windows saying, well, writing it down probably. I don't think the Soviets had radio, so probably writing it on a notepad or drawing a picture of what Aimstrong's army looks like.
Taking the day off dropping leaflets.
That's right. But regardless, I think the good thing for Aimstrong, though, is he's got the 2 Pioneers out with the Minesweepers now. He's 34 minutes in, and he's still got 288 victory points left.
I think.
Ooh, we are seeing it. The Panzerfears veering into view. Needs to get some big shots in on the KV-1 in order to make this happen, and it's just not happening at all. The Zis gun, that's right, an anti-tank gun. Aimstrong is doing exactly what it says on the tin, and that's repelling tanks.
Might get a nice little wipe on the engineers here. He's trying to cap left side with the Grens, but Painted Battalion pushes them off. And look at the attention to detail. Luvnest is just continuously harassing even the strategic points that are going to be bringing in resources for Aimstrong. He is putting such a firm grip on this game. And it's just been all over the place, this game. Like, we were waiting for the players to stabilize. It's starting to happen now. 35 minutes into the game, we have what was basically the mid-game supposed to be. And what a shot from the KV-1.
Great shot there. We have 2 Zis guns, by the way, out for Luvnest. Oh, God, and the follow-up shot is equally brutal. It destroys the Veterancy 3 on the MG. There is a demo in the crate, so the Grenadiers know to avoid it by now. They're sweeping with intelligence rather than with the actual minesweepers. But it is looking bad for Aimstrong at the moment. He does still have an army. He does still have a victory point count that's over halfway. But in general, it's not going too greatly for him.
No, it is not. It's looking very, very closely to be the end of the series, potentially. It's a triple cap potentially coming in in a moment when the sniper clears out these Grens, and that would spell a very, very quick end to the series. Do we really think, like, what is Aimstrong's option here?
Aimstrong's options are to basically buckle down, get tier 2 is what I'd advise, but we know he's not going to do that, so Aimstrong's options is a different question. He's got to save for the Stuka strafe, in my opinion. He's got the 2 mine supers, so he can keep trying to cap north. But as I say, his options is just got to try and outplay Luvnest on a micro scale in these 2 areas of the map and try and reclaim at least 1 victory point so he can save for the Tiger, get it out. He's 140 fuel to the 230 he would need. Sniper could help.
Sniper, oh no!
Sorry, could help.
It could have helped. He just built that sniper as well. It literally just came out of the tier structure and was instantly counter-sniped by Luvnest. We've got Pioneers. They're going on to tap the left VP. He's trying to get any VPs he can right now, just until he can figure something else. But something out.
Welcome to the battlefield, Commander. Here's your Car 98 scoped. We need you to shoot as many of the Ruskies as we can because, we could be going out of the tournament. Okay, I'll do my best.
I don't even think he was there for that speech.
It's just having getting handed the rifle. Literally gets his head shotted.
Well, again, pushed off the left side by the KB1. It's going to be another
Full gunner there, killing the Pioneer.
He's really struggling to actually keep these squads on the field because he's taking so many risks with capping. The VPs are about to drop in favor of Luvnest, something I wasn't expecting given that Luvnest actually dropped, what was it, like 185 VPs against 500 that area, and it is not looking like a savable situation at all.
No, it's not. It doesn't look likely that Aimstrong will get into this, to be honest. Now we've got 3 KV1s. That's quite a lot for this Vet 3 Sturmgewehr. Sturmgeschütz. I keep saying Sturmgewehr by accident. It's a Stug to handle. It does have target weak point, which we just saw utilised with the Faust as well. Got a Panzerfear moonwalking into vision.
Yeah, he's losing control on the grip of things. And that has been Fausted, so he's not going to be able to escape the reaches of the Stug. But the other 2 KV1s are coming in now, not too important. Once these will be clearing up the infantry, 80 guns are going to be dealing with the medium vehicles that are coming in. Will they set up?
God, the army from the Soviet juggernauts. Another brutal assassination of a Wehrmacht unit there, on retreat, or walking away slowly. It's just not going well for him at all.
No, I think we have to really realistically look now like we are going to lose Aimstrong forward to. Where is DevM?
Yes, where's DevM when he needs to? Can I call him on like a call-in vehicle?
I want to see DevM in chat.
Well, DevM won't be in chat. DevM will be waiting to just shake his head at Luvnest and tut. Say, wait in a couple of weeks. I'll be doing it a lot better. We could. Oh, there we go. We've got anti-tank satchel unleashed from the penal battalions. Second option on the bottom right of your screen if you want to utilise that for the new players. Then we have got many viewers in chat. You're watching a fantastic series between Aimstrong and Luvnest. Regardless of the fact that Luvnest looks likely to win this 3-0, the entertainment levels have been really high, and Aimstrong has equipped himself very well. He's played excellently and done so many little intricate things that you don't usually expect to see in Company Heroes 2 play.
Yeah, it's one hell of a series to watch. You've got to wonder if a couple of things went differently, where would this series have been? But Luvnest has just shown, and I think this was Luvnest's game to come back from. He wasn't winning. He wasn't winning for a lot of this game. And he has, really, again, consistency. We spoke about this. Consistency was always going to win, and Luvnest has been consistent with his play.
I think what Aimstrong, Aim's is absolutely horrendous, isn't it? What Aimstrong's build is indicative of is if the grid is somebody that's come back into the. Oh God. No, at least one of the Grenadiers isn't caught up yet.
I think he thought it was planted there. He still ran across it.
Still, I don't think his heart's in this game anymore.
No.
But his build is indicative of somebody that's come back after an 18-month layoff and has looked for a very very quick strategy to just exert very early game dominance and get quick wins. What we've seen in these longer game engagements is somebody that's been playing the game non-stop for 3 years at a high level, who just has more muscle, and quite frankly, He's battered Aimstrong into submission. Aimstrong's shown what a great player he used to be in Company Heroes history. He still can come back for these tournaments and still make a really good showing of himself. But he doesn't quite frankly have the endurance and practice levels of an elite level opposition like Luvnest, who never has stopped playing Company Heroes 2 at a high level.
We're just showing 55 kills there on the sniper for this game, which I don't think... I think did it die at the start? That was a replacement.
By all means, check if you like. You're on Luvnest right now. If you go to the unit icons,
just
you
not,
can check.
not just yet. Oh, like he's adjusting the line there.
Still playing really well, despite obviously only having 3 infantry units.
I think he's still trying to look for opportunities. I mean, we know how this can turn. You know, if the Panzer IV gets a couple of lucky shots, you know, we can see 2 or 3 squad wipes going. It's unlikely, but you know, there's still ways that this can go.
What's
that are
Panzer IV doing in
recoverable.
the centre there? That was getting away from a heavy engagement, it felt like. I think there's a KV-1 there chasing the Panzer IV, is it?
No.
Oh,
it's
so
just
they was
two-
they're
two
backing away
axes.
from it. Sorry, my bad. My
No,
bad.
no, not at all, no.
My
Oh,
spidey
I've got
senses were
my eyes on
tingling.
those KVs.
Spidey senses were tingling.
Why does he keep blowing those? That was never gonna
Never gonna work.
hit.
Maybe it was a reflex, you know, he just jumped to it. What's this one doing now?
Trying to get rid of these.
He's a bit too fast for his own good, isn't he?
Look, for Mother Russia's gone on. He's going to be able to get that sticky anti-tank satchel off, and that will do a lot of damage. I don't know how much.
Real God, it's got a fraction of health remaining, third of health. Stokes coming in to rescue the
ram
day. I've heard there's something wrong. What's up? Well, our engine's kaput. Oh, great. Come back to base with me. Okay.
Looks like he's probably going to tow it back to base. But, yeah, this not really too much to say about this. I think Aimstrong is just trying to make the best of 27 VPs. There isn't that much chance of him getting back into this now. 2 VPs left and centre are very well guarded by Luvnest. One on the right may fall, but I think it's contributed enough in the triple cab.
Oh, yes.
It is looking like it's going to be GG. Panzer IV goes down. We finally have the Tiger, which we thought should maybe have come out earlier. But let's enjoy this last.
That's right. It's 54 tons. The Panzerkampfwagen 6, the Tiger, is on the field. It's literally Aimstrong's last vestige of ability in this game as the VP ticker ticks down to 0. He's going to be out in moments, absolute moments, for this game is no longer his, and he's out of the series. This is just an ode to Aimstrong, a great player of Company Heroes past, coming into Company Heroes future, training hard for 3 months. He's done his absolute best. And his best, unfortunately, in this case, was not as good as Luvnest's best, because Luvnest brought it today, and he has very calmly disposed of Aimstrong in a long game time, but needless to say, in 3-0.
3-0. Wow. Like, really?
But it was, you've got to admit, Aimstrong, it wasn't like a whitewash 3-0. It was a very competitive 3-0.
No.
Not you know.
I worried, honestly, from what I've seen recently, I worried that Luvnest hadn't been putting the time in. I worried
me
that
too.
he wasn't going to show this kind of caliber. But that was really such a good performance. I mean, the last game went a little bit rocky just from the start, just because of that, the engineer. But I mean, everything else he's been doing is so like psychologically countering. He countered Aimstrong's play style. He countered him in some engagements. He's faking rifle grenades. It was so good, and perfection. You know, he knew how to counter Aimstrong's Brits. He knew how to counter Aimstrong's Austere.
I also think
amazing.
With Luvnest and the way he plays, I think he utilises the game as efficiently as it can be. So things he says on stream that he personally hates about the game, calling vehicles, demo charges. He's entirely hypocritical, but in a good way, because we want to see that in tournaments. We want to see people play the game. I remember saying this about Luvnest in early ESL days. He was using tripwire flares on doors and killing full health squads.
Yeah.
And that's his absolute right as a competitor, and I absolutely commend him for it. He's got to play this game as efficiently as he can do. And I can almost envisage him like, demo. You know, on his PC, he's just like, demo. But it's just, he is a brutal competitor. And that's what you want to see in RTS. You don't want to see people going half-hearted. You want to see them going full-fledged and full for it, and that's exactly what he's done here. But then again, full credit to Aimstrong. He's come back after an 18-month layoff. The previous game he played before he started training for GCS was the OCF Final.
God,
Ages ago. So big credit to him. So if you're watching this, Aimstrong, absolutely well done, mate. Hope to see you for the final. Hope he comes down to watch the games, and hope cheer on his buddy Devem if he beats Von Ivan in the other semi-final, perhaps.
Yeah, Aimstrong's probably not expecting to hear it from me, but I do think Aimstrong is a brilliant player. It's been actually a pleasure having him in the tournament, and just his presence has made the whole tournament better.
Big time.
Because everybody's upped their game knowing he's there. Do you know what I mean? So Aimstrong, huge performance. And
he's saved a lot of the credibility of the tournament, because Jove and Nagano not being able to play was a big blow for the tournament. So that's why I, as an organizer, was like getting these guys, Jeziel and Aimstrong, please come play in GCS, make sure you train, make sure it happens. And Aimstrong's somebody that literally rose to the occasion. He has trained hard. He's number 1 Wehrmacht, number 1 Brits for this tournament. So big kudos to Luvnest for getting the win there. It didn't look easy, despite the amount of demos that it made it look easy at times in the Soviet games. The Wehrmacht play was incredible in G2. But mostly big kudos to another fallen hero, joining Talisman, joining Theodosios. We're losing the lower half of the top 8 seeds that made it to the quarterfinals. That's right, all number 1 to number 8 seeds made it to the quarterfinals. There's been no major upsets as of yet in GCS until we start to lose the true big boys of the tournament, the top 4 seeds. But we've got 3 of the top 4 now in the semi-finals. It's now who joins them out of the number 3 seed, Helping Hands, and his arch nemesis, the number 6 seed, Barton PL.
The next series, this is going to be big. It's going to be a big series. We know that Helping Hands has been here. We know that a lot of you guys obviously want to see Helping Hands play. We also got like Barton puts on a fantastic performance.
Great player.
Every single time. Pleasure casting him. I think we deserve a little break.
I think they deserve to see possibly that new thing you may have made them. A little treat.
The trailer?
The trailer.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
the video, obviously.
We'll go to the wait screen. We'll come back in with the...
so don't go anywhere. Also, maybe a raffle as well to reward our glorious viewers.
How am I forgetting the raffles? Okay, let's double up on the raffle. We'll do that right now.
That's a double raffle. So you're not only raffling for one of the commanders you can use to raffle to win in Co2 Auto Match, but you can also win Ashes of the Singularity, which is pretty much a AAA multiplayer-based real-time strategy game, very similar to Supreme Commander, but not as micro-intensive. You're able to more think about strategy, build up your army, and go for build order and overall strategic kind of overview.
It is a macro game. It's
great.
It's good. It's good graphics. It's one of the first ones, I think, with DirectX 12.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a really nice RTS in that one. So guys, raffle is going to be open. You guys can raffle whilst we're taking a short break, and really hot.
Hot? Is that how a game made you hot, or is it time of the month or something?
I'm so hot, I'm going to turn the saturation down on the camera.
Because your face is getting red.
Just because the face is getting red.
So that's right. So we've got raffle results to give you. We're going to show you an amazing trailer that Dan's made when we get back after about a 3 or 4 minute break. You'll then get the trailer. Do not go anywhere, because this next series, the last series of the quarterfinals to decide who joins the other 3 in the semi-finals, you ain't going to want to miss it.
Not at all.